recording here. And we're streaming. Alright. Can people see me live on stream?
I will let you know when I can.
I'm observing.
Alright.
Yeah, I see it loading.
Loading, we're loading, rawhide.
There you are.
Alright, can you hear me over there?
Let me actually unmute the player.
Yeah. Just want to make sure that the stream is going well.
Yep.
That everything's running the way it should, that kind of thing. Unlike last time. Hopefully we're not too choppy over there.
And myself.
Yeah. Alright. I have to still figure out why it's choppy on this machine, but it's not choppy, at least locally. We'll see what's going on with it. Alright. So, this is our 13th multiplayer test. Mostly this week, we've been putting together a lot of patches that for the bugs that we've been finding the last several outings with this, and including Jordan with your issue you brought up with the research, as well as the transferring of those assets during the game. We also have a big breakthrough that took up a lot of our time, which was we actually do have a demo release available to the general public, and that is on Game Jolt. And while it doesn't have all the features that we're showing here, there are a few like single-player scenarios that are in there. This is mostly wave combat. There's also a integrated flight tutorial. And what's interesting about that is Jordan here actually wrote the personality that you now read in there for the flight tutorial for Ares, the War Master AI. And so he's a lot more interesting than simply, this is how you do this, this is how you do that. Actually gives the game a lot more flavor and depth, if you will, which I got a chance to play with. I really enjoy what I came across. So today's...
Just to double check, the Game Jolt link that's in the README, that I want to type it up onto the Twitch, that's accurate, right?
When it appears there, yes. I don't know until you send it. Now, this next release isn't getting released until tomorrow. There is a release there right now. But if you want to see these updates, we're doing this live stream today and then the release on Wednesday. And so we'll get that up there sometime tomorrow. I think the current version is 2075, and this will be like 2091 or something like that. I don't know what the exact number will be, but...
Buddy entered your channel.
Bigger than the current one. So, who just joined us, so I know?
Ogre.
Hi, Ogre.
Hello.
So, we're trying to make the system more stable for these multiplayer releases. So that's what mostly we've been doing. That and getting the outright release out so that we could get it to the general public. So today hopefully should be a more stable experience as far as the multiplayer goes. I was playing it earlier and it's handing me my butt as I was trying to check some things. Thank you, Jordan, for posting the Game Jolt link. I appreciate it. But again, we're posting an update tomorrow, so you might want to wait to download till then. But it'll certainly be an interesting update. And I said, I intend to do a update every 2 weeks to the Game Jolt version, and we'll go from there. The Game Jolt version doesn't have the builder bots. You can't really build cities with that one. With that one. But everything else kind of works. There are a few scenarios there, so maybe we'll go over them today. So, what would people like me to do? They want me to do the normal multiplayer. I can show you the fact that things don't blow up, or we can show you the new flight tutorial that Jordan did, or we can show you the mini scenarios that are in the system now. So what would the audience like? Okay, normal scenario it is.
Yeah.
I know. All right, so I'm getting the multiplayer server going.
User entered your channel.
I should actually tell OBS to switch views. So hold on a second. So this is something I should also set up, is a keyboard thing to switch my OBS around, so I don't have to like alt tab out to go to different things, etc. All right. So host. All right. Server is up. This will just be the admiral this time. Oh, Jordan, also I fixed that problem where you couldn't build turrets from the nav screen.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell the audience, you know.
Yeah.
So as I said,
Typing.
oh, okay. There we go. There's Adam.
I'm multitasking slightly. I'm like trying to also post, hey, we're streaming to Facebook for whoever cares what I have to say.
Fair enough.
Which is more than should. And at some
Ah,
I'm
point,
sorry, was
maybe I
someone
should
just
put...
speaking? I wasn't paying attention.
yeah, there you go. That's very true.
I love you, Ogre.
In that
At
special
some point, I
county.
should perhaps throw something up on Twitter for the, believe it or not, 2 strangers who follow me.
Are you sure they aren't
What,
bots?
are they stranger than you?
Now
difficult
that's
to know.
impressive. If they
Well,
would be.
no. Different form of stranger. It'd be hard to be stranger than me.
Is that a challenge?
Keep me humble, guys. Keep me humble.
Fair enough. All right. So we're just waiting for Paul and yourself to come in onto the server.
Yeah, I'm also
Nice.
waiting for the graphics to load.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
Which
Alright,
that was
here we
why I
go.
tossed that extra bit into the README. Like, don't panic if the graphics seem really minimal when you first start up the game. That's by design.
It is. We're gonna put a flag in there. Technically, it's already in the scripting and turn it on and off, but that's not easy for the player to get to.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. We're waiting for Jordan. So who wants to be the War Master anyway?
Is that joining us?
I don't know.
Yes, I have
Okay.
to wait for it to build every time I try to run the game, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I have that on my laptop. I don't have that on my desktop, so I don't know what's going on with that. We'll have to kind of track that down. It's got to be a setting or something. But in any case.
I'm all set.
Yep. No, we're just waiting for Matt. Paul.
It's so nice to see the. I love seeing the interface artwork I made like this, just up in front of my face.
Yeah, it's functional versus theoretical. That was a bad idea. Didn't see that. Whee! It's one of the things. Just don't do that.
Do we have a War Master?
We do not yet. Not that I can sell. There's Mayor. Somebody just made me the War Master. It looks like. I can be an admiral. Who else wants to be the War Master? Is the question.
And sent out. You may be pleased. My first ever.
Hold on 1 second, I accidentally backed out of the Omniball, so I gotta restart.
All right.
Maybe my first ever tweet that wasn't a reply to somebody else is about your game, Arthur.
There you go. It's a retweet. There you go. One of the things that I also put a lot of effort into was trying to clean up the navigation between the screens. So
Right. Was it the getting trapped in certain screens?
Well, not just that, but yeah. So now there's a couple ways in. Now you can actually use the F keys, F6 through F12, to go to different screens.
Ooh.
And so if you hit the same key for the same screen, it will just back you out of where you came from. And the Omniball menuing system should be properly synced now from now on. You shouldn't get trapped in the screen or anything else. Also, if you hit the escape key from any particular screen, you'll go to the splash screen. and when you exit the splash screen, it will go right back to where you were. So the little creature comforts that you would normally assume are now there. So again, who wants to be War Master?
I guess I'll be War Master. I guess.
All
Oh, I
right.
was about to throw Matt under the bus.
Fair enough. All right. So where we go? We're going in. All right.
Okay.
Now, so to prove that all these different things actually work, so I see people firing, so I can go too. So I go to the research screen, no problems there, and I go back out. As a matter of fact, I'm going to jump between a bunch of screens using the keyboard, so watch this. Doing, 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 including F12, which takes you back to the sim screen, by the way. And if I hit a screen and I hit it again, it takes me right back to where it was. So the backout functionality works, and if you notice, the actual Omni Ball actually goes and is set the way it's supposed to be, rather than turning into a giant garbage fire. So that in of itself is very good. Looks like the builder bot's on the move.
Yep.
Which is not a bad thing.
Of course, I keep forgetting. Like, I'll tell it to go do stuff, and then I keep forgetting. Oh wait, this may be something a light request. The hit, / to display where the triangles are only works in sim screen.
I thought this still works in the nav screen.
I haven't been able to get it to work in the nav screen, but I also haven't tried terribly hard.
I just did it.
All right, well then, it's possible I'm stupid.
No, I'm not saying you're stupid at all.
I am being slightly funny.
Okay.
But okay.
But no,
that was
it's
part
there.
where I was saying that I didn't try like a few times. It's just I hit / once and nothing happened. So I'm like, okay, back to sim screen.
Yeah, no, I mean everything should be working better now in the nav screen now. One of my big things that I intend to make a very purposeful thing to do after today, after the next public release, which is tomorrow, is to spend a lot of time trying to finally fix the surface equation. Meaning, you know how sometimes things pop up or you can fall through it, that kind of thing. That's also partially preventing you clicking on the surface as well, the same equation. And I'm just going to hunker down and find out what's wrong and fix it once and for all and be done with it. And that's the last of the really giant, outstanding problems.
Quick note: that is not where I told the builder about to build the
that's
research
part
center.
of the problem. So yes, I'm aware of that.
Just for reference, I told it to build it on literally the opposite side of the reactor from where it ended up being.
Yes. Well, part of the problem is sometimes it can't tell where the surface is because of different glitching, and so that's what I mean by that. So
just gotta report it.
Nope, that's fine.
But it's fine. It's near the reactor. That's all that matters.
I mean, it's in the it's within, I guess, a margin of error.
Fair enough.
You could say.
I see mine's already being researched.
Yep. Let's build another research facility.
Now, I did discover something weird and interesting during one of my tests. You know how sometimes the BuilderBot seems to lock up? It's because the internal equation sort of went nuts, and so if you actually ram it and push it off axis, it will go, oh, that's what you wanted me to do, and it will actually go somewhere.
I haven't noticed it locking up. I just noticed it takes really weird paths to get to places.
Well, that's why it's locking up, because the weird equation in it makes it very stupid sometimes.
Does that work for the enemy as well?
I'm assuming it does. I'm not 100% sure that it does.
So what you're telling me is that if the enemy BuilderBot doesn't seem to be doing anything, we should, on occasion, ask Ogre to, quote, get out and push.
Yeah, pretty much. At least until I update the AI for it, which is one of the big things I want to change as well, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
Alright, so let's take a gander over at what the enemy's doing here. Let me zoom out so I go a little quicker.
Oh, that's the wrong button. Okay.
Okay, that's our guys up in space. Although
what was the button for I'm done with the building? For I don't want to build anymore. Oh, right, it was click build again?
You can click build again and I'll do it.
Because I was about to build a mine, I decided I didn't want to build a mine first. I want to build a refinery first.
Right. So that's been while everything's not perfect, it's much more creature comforty. So to give out ideas, what happened was if I have a builder bot selected and I hit build and I don't
Alright,
want to, I
that's
can hit build again and we'll get rid of it. And then we just think, well, isn't that kind of obviously stupid that it should work that way? Yes, it is obviously stupid it should work that way, but it wasn't.
It's the building locations are very off compared to where they were last time we were playing. Like before, I had
Change your view angle. Use Control Shift W or S to alter your angle, and it should work better.
okay. But it's just like I don't know. But yeah, I guess it's view angle. But yeah, so and I know you're working on it. I'm not trying to be a jerk.
No, you're reporting a bug, and that's fine.
User
Somebody
entered
else
your
grab
channel.
the researching of the actual buildings, the factory, and the turret.
Took care of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
someone's
was
doing
real
something.
confused for a second there. I'm like, I know I researched it. Where are they? Okay, well in that case, let's start grabbing some basic weapons.
Well, somebody's put autocannons in there.
Yeah.
Now, Matt.
Yeah.
As a thing, I have the research screen on, and I know you do updates as far as the, what's actually being researched. But when Jordan's building a new building, and it's done because I saw him building a second research center, it
Yeah.
doesn't update the number of research centers on the research screen.
Yes,
If
that
I-
was the thing we spoke about, where the planet on the research screen is not remaining in an active state.
Okay.
And so when I check to see if the grids are active,
Okay.
it always finds that they're not. So I couldn't find anything that unsets that, and it's the only grid on any of these screens where that's happening.
Okay.
So I'm gonna need assistance tracking that down.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it offline. But I just wanted to bring that up. So shields, and we
I'm
have
aware of that
capacitors
one.
that are doing its thing.
And there's our mine. I do think it was so as a strategy note. It definitely seems like it's much faster for when finally people get to play this themselves. For a strategy tip, if you want to build 2 research centers immediately, like I do, build the refinery first. It'll be much faster for it to build a mine on its own than to
Yes.
build a refinery on its own.
Yes.
So there's your strategy tip.
Important
And I
safety,
like
thanks
that
again.
we are at the stage of here's a strategy tip,
Yes.
and not just here's how to get around a bug.
Yep.
That's cool.
Scary, that, isn't
Anyway.
it?
So
And now we're actually all getting resources, actually, if you look at that.
I would like another reactor. then
Let's
we'll put
do
down
an actual test,
factory.
because this is actually very valid. I am going to give you my money, Jordan, since you're still building things. All right?
Ooh.
Ooh,
I promise not to spend it all in one place.
I'm sure you will, actually. So this was a problem that we were having before. Now, so hopefully this will work. We'll find out. It might crash. It did it before. So I'm sending it to you, Jordan. I'm sending you 100 RMs. So here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. Oh, and I have a breakpoint in here. That's not actually a bug. It's just a breakpoint.
Let's do a
sorry.
king test. I remember this thing. So you said you sent me 100 RMs?
Yep.
I saw that come through.
Yeah, as soon as I
So-
decided to tell the server don't stop there, I left the
We're
breakpoint
both
on from when I was
saying
testing
that
it.
we're both saying that at that point it's gone down now because the bot's spending them. My
Yeah.
RMs was around 400 and change.
Yeah,
Yep.
it
Okay,
was
that's just
higher
checking
than
back to
that
the old-
because of what Ogre and so forth did.
That's
Now-
just checking because remember used to not update at all. So
Yes.
one, I saw the correct number. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the exact moment when you.
Oh, it ate itself. Damn it.
Oh.
I just sent money to Jordan.
Vestiges.
I feel like it seems like it's done a bit of a credit check and decided that Matt can't honor that transaction.
All right, you sent a null. Where is this? Do struck linking. Oh, for fraggle's sakes.
At least there's the autosave.
Yeah, no, there's the autosaves there.
I guess
but
that
it's
was
not-
an
Alright.
overdraft.
Oh, nice. You
No.
space me, but you will cancel Matt's checks.
There you go.
Oh, not only will I
Wow.
cancel Matt's checks, I will crash the economy when Matt tries to send me a check.
Okay,
that's
so
pretty
basically it sent a null as the box and even the builder.
Oh god.
All
I
right,
want to make the Futurama reference. I don't know if we should make too many references on the stream.
fair enough. Ah,
But
man.
know that I'm thinking it, Matt.
So the question is, what did you do differently, Matt, that we just did that?
Well, I suppose the only thing that I might have done differently is I tried to send him everything I had at that moment.
Okay, I'm not sure if that
Just
really
because
mattered, but okay.
I threw the gauge and it reached the max, and so I figured, okay, whatever, and I just sent it.
All right.
I don't know if this factors in, but I was also reconnecting at that point.
That probably factors.
You were
why
reconnecting
I
at the
brought it up.
time?
Yes. I'd
Oh.
accidentally quit out. Just
Oh.
it wasn't a crash.
That could have been it. I can't rule it out. I don't know. All right, so we're gonna load from the third save. So everybody can come in.
All right.
You should be able to join.
As the War Master, do I have to like set any kind of like variable for like Jordan to get like the budget or something? Or
If you would
Yes.
like me to have more money.
If
Okay,
you
cool.
want actually him to automatically have money versus us being generous and basically doing a GoFundMe so we can build our city.
right.
Because
So
that's
now we
basically
have
what we're
a
doing
problem,
right now.
and this is another quality of life thing that can be added in at some point. I don't know if the builder bot is currently acting on, like what task is currently acting on. So that might be a quality of life thing to add in some point, where I could click the builder bot and have some menu that says it is currently doing this.
I probably should have a glowy building on the ground going, this is where it's going to go build.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably a thing to do.
Okay,
and
so
that shouldn't be hard to do.
I'm in the asset screen. I'm back in.
Yep.
Do I go to Jordan and I just select that budget icon and then change the percentage there?
Yep, that's exactly what you do.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this thing all the way to
There you go.
100.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
All right then. That should be. Is there any kind of confirmation button that I have to hit, or is it just good?
I'm looking at it. I mean, it
Okay.
changed live
No,
on
it
the screen.
updates automatically.
Okay, cool. There's no confirm or cancel.
Right. So I'm
And
going to
so-
go, all right, just to see whether or not if this is going to blow up or not. I'm going to send Jordan 100.
Well,
Matt,
before you do that,
I already did it.
let's just for the audiences again. When Paul turns me up to 100, what exactly does that mean?
Woohoo!
Ah,
What it means is you get shares. So everybody starts out with 50 shares. And by increasing to 100 shares, it recalculates the percentages. So if you see everybody's updates, Matt, that was one of the things we were going to do, add a percentage at the end, so it was more obvious.
Yes.
That this 14.3% that Paul's getting is different than 28.6% that now Jordan's getting.
Right. So
what we also want
if
to do is
they're at
add
50,
in.
I'm at 100. I'm receiving double as much as everyone else.
Right.
I'm not receiving 100% of all income.
The idea was managing percentages was too much of a conceptual pain, I think, for the players. So by doing shares, it makes more sense. However, we wanted a way of having a button that would turn all the shares down to 1 or turn all the shares to 50 so that it would be easier if you really just wanted everybody only to get one thing. You didn't have to manually readjust every single person's stuff. So that would be another creature comfort we'll throw in. I think it's a good idea.
Right. Now we can test the asset. I just wanted to
Yes.
have that restated for the audience again.
So Matt, could you actually send him some of your money and let's see if it crashes again?
Yes, I will.
I'll close that up. And so, how much are you sending?
1,000 space
Woohoo!
dollars.
You love that space dollars thing, don't you?
I mean, it just.
A
I don't know, man. It
million
fits.
space bucks.
Yes, something like that.
And
Ooh, I just crashed.
In the
send.
form of a tricky dick
And
fun
it
bill.
blew up again. Why doesn't it like you?
I see Jordan having received that money.
Well, it blew up the same thing right here. You sent me a null.
Okay, but
So
so
is it
next
just
we should
you?
test somebody who isn't Matt.
Yes,
Oh, so
because
it's
I'm
really
able to do it, but then again,
exit
I'm
now,
the
right?
server, so that's not really a test, and that's probably the problem. Okay,
Oh,
well, this is a
push,
known
push,
now
push,
unknown
pushing.
bug if that's what this case. But it's like anything else. But we had this running the other day. We
Well,
actually
you
tested
know.
this yesterday. We actually spent
All right,
like
so next-
hours to fix
Well,
this.
it was running, but now we've got a new bug.
So next we should also do
you
a
fix
couple
one
things
bug.
to test.
Yeah.
We should probably have somebody send to somebody who's not Matt send to somebody who's not me in case the problem is partially me.
Actually, no.
And-
Someone who's not Matt should send to you, and then
Yes.
Matt should send to somebody else,
Yeah.
and then somebody else should send to somebody else.
Yes. Okay, so game's up again. Isn't autosave a wonderful thing, especially in multiplayer?
It is.
Yeah.
You know.
We
Oh
can
my god.
we can disconnect 6 million times, but we will make progress.
Yeah, I mean, now we know this is obviously an issue. We'll track this down and we'll stomp it. I'm very determined to make this thing much, much more stable. And I'm actually very surprised that this is still having issues at all, to be honest.
That's
Now,
a
me
little
as a
odd.
server doing a transfer doesn't mean anything because I'm the server, so of course it's working. Matt being a client, you know. So, Paul,
Now,
you can...
Where is this one crashing? Just so I can make a note of that.
I'm rejoining now.
Whoops.
Okay, I'm in.
It's in
Yep, it's
do
not
struct
moving.
linking. You're sending it's a GW PR box kind of thing. If that helps you any. Basically,
Oh.
it's being sent to null. So someone sends something to somebody else.
Huh.
Is the server up?
Server's up. People are
Yep.
in.
I just crashed
I'm
my
in.
desktop right when I was connecting.
I was able to
I
join
can't get
without
my
a
ship to
problem.
move. Like I can hit max thrust, and the bar comes up saying my set speed in green, right? It never.
That's because, alright, you need to go into the nav screen and come back out again. It still thinks you're in the nav screen.
I'm in
Oh,
the.
because I was in the nav screen when we crashed.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And you were in the nav screen when you...
Okay. Yep, that worked.
Yeah.
I am
So, that's the
also
thing.
crashing when trying to get back in.
Really?
I was able to get back in without a problem.
The
so.
bot's moving, so that might be part of it.
That shouldn't make a difference. Could people retry again, please?
Well, meaning like right now, right this second, it is building.
Yeah. Well, I see it moving around. I don't see it building. Oh, you mean the foreign one, you mean?
No, our bot.
Yeah, well, our bot's
Yeah.
moving. Whee!
Just
Our bot
finished
just-
the reactor.
Yeah, just finished the reactor, so that might have been part of it. Our bot was like pulling resources and doing stuff.
Yeah, still shouldn't
Because
cost
remember, this
anything.
particular autosave is right after I told it to build a reactor.
Right.
Currently, it's not doing anything. I haven't told it to do anything. See if you
I'm
can
gonna go
join
on down
now.
here. Whee! Let's try to join. It would be very annoying if that's really the problem. I mean, if that really is the issue, then that's one of the simulations we have to do to kind of stomp that out, because again, that shouldn't be a thing. Like I said, my real goal here is to make the multiplayer really solid, so that we don't have to have these kind of crazy in and outs kind of thing. But as long as we can keep progressing, that's still better than what we've been doing. But yeah.
All right. So people able to join, or are you still crashing out?
Game's back loading. It's still loading again. So.
Okay.
Well, I'm in. So how about I try sending somebody money? Because I've never tried that.
Okay.
Arthur, how do I send someone money?
Okie dokie. Well, you go to the asset screen. Go from that to the Audi ball. Because it has a tendency of having a lot of things expanded, it's probably easier to unexpand the individual people. So there's a plus and minus sign to the left-hand side of the bar, and you can click that so the plus sign shows up. That means it's not expanded, and there's easier to see all the different people that are in the game. Jordan, you have a lot of messages, for example, that eat up a lot of the screen real estate.
Yeah.
I suspect if you try to send anything, it will crash, but we'll try this out. So you
I
click
am
on.
back in, so
You are in.
I am in.
You are in. So there you go.
Maybe it was the builder bot building stuff.
I guess so. That's very strange and bad.
It's been a known bug.
Should I perhaps try sending something to someone else? Like
Paul,
send
let's
some...
do one thing at a time, okay?
So how do I send? Because I've never tried it. I'm always the receiver.
So since you're an admiral or a mayor, actually, you can't. Paul's the war master. You can grab anybody's money.
Right. Well,
at will.
I have 600 refined material. I have 300 ore. Let's send some ore.
Okay, fine. So you click on the ore.
And gotcha.
And the thing
Let's
pops up.
give it to Ogre.
Okay.
And okay. Kind of want to. And then, do I type over this number?
No. Say I'm going to give ore to Ogre, for example. I'm just showing it on my screen.
Right.
You can, actually we should probably make that enterable by hand, but you'd use the gauge at the bottom to change the number. Do you see the little chainsaw thing?
Yeah.
You can move that back and forth to change the number you can send.
I'm having trouble getting it up at any speed. I know, haha, but seriously. Like, if I move the game back and forth.
I didn't actually make the joke.
I can
I
can
can
change
go
that.
between 1 and 1.94, but that's about as much as I can do. I'm very confused.
Just hold the button down over the gauge, and you should be able to move it left and right.
I'm trying.
All right, I
Like,
don't.
I can move it to the right and get up as high as 1.94, and I cannot go any higher.
Try releasing it and moving it further. Meaning I'm not
Nothing.
having that issue, so I'm just trying to figure out why you're having the issue. Maybe it's a resolution thing, I don't know. We'll have to test that, so we'll have to add that in our set of bugs.
But it's like, if I try to move it further to the right, it just won't go.
Alright, move it as far to the left as possible.
Far to the left,
Yeah, try to get to the 0.
I click and drag to the left, and it does nothing.
Alright. Click anywhere else on it, and then let's try to reset it. So I'll go to, say, Ogre.
What if I try the refined materials? Is that different? Oh, I can do whatever I want with refined materials. It's just ore.
Try Ore again, honestly. It shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Or I cannot go higher than 1.94.
That's strange, because you actually do have 508 right
Yeah.
now.
But if I wanted to give, but if I say I wanted to give Ogre 1,000 plus refined materials, I would totally let me do that.
Yeah.
If I said to 1,000, let's do refined materials. It can be sent back to me. That's part of our later testing.
Yeah.
I say 1,000. Do I hit this then arrows button?
Yeah, the little transfer button.
All right, so I send Ogre 1,000 refined materials, and yep, that went through. Are we crashed?
No, it didn't crash. So why does it hate Matt?
Ogre, can I have that back?
Well,
You give it
hold
back.
on. Let me try to give Jordan some more, some refined materials actually. And see if it
Okay.
crashes again this time.
It crashed the last 2 times, but he's able to do it, and he's not the War Master or anything like that. And he's a client too.
How do I get back into the game?
Send.
I went to the main menu.
Sandbox.
Sandbox. Sorry.
There we go.
Is it crashed, Arthur?
It didn't crash, but I don't see it
Matt
going
says he
down
just sent me
either.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, you sent 100, I guess.
I send 1,000.
Oh, you said 1,000. Oh, I see. You're right. I'm looking at the
Yep.
wrong number.
Okay. Yeah, I have it.
All right. So
Um,
that's when we tested before. It was working. That's why we're going
Actually,
twice.
I'm gonna try to send some more to see if I have trouble with the gauge.
Okay, go for it.
And I am definitely not having trouble with the gauge.
Yeah, that's why I was going sort of
Weird.
Like, huh? Yeah. So
Next time we have to restart the game, I'll look at it again.
fair enough.
Yeah.
So I'm going to send to
reset.
Jordan 1,000. And
Yep,
I
I
sent
see
it.
it.
Oh,
You know.
yes, you just saw Jordan.
So Ogre's still richer than the rest of us, of course.
All right. By the way, is anyone trying to join right now, or can I build that factory?
Build the factory. I don't hear everybody's talking. So.
Yep. So okay, factory going down. Because now I'm sure we're a little behind the AI.
Oh yeah, and they're gonna make you know it too.
I have researched the autocannons and the shields and the capacitors.
They got a couple of turrets already.
So I'm going to start on the longer projects
Fair enough.
of power and computers. That way we can get to the better research. But there's gonna be a factory soon. So also my budget increase from Paul wasn't part of that last autosave, but it's fine.
Yeah,
because
it was
now people are gonna start making their own ships, and everyone just gave me a bunch of money.
We did. How much money do I actually have?
This is the greatest experiment ever. Everyone just keeps giving me money.
Whew. There you go.
Shall I give Jordan some RMs then? I got like 2,800 and counting.
If you're not planning to build any ships, then sure.
All right then.
In a few seconds, people are gonna be able to spend that money for themselves. Make yourself a little fleet. What we haven't tested, Arthur, in like the multiplayer RTS is people actually commanding a fleet.
I agree.
We've never gotten that far.
We haven't gotten
Factory's
that
up.
far. Things kept them blowing up. So we might
Yeah,
actually
just sent
need
you 1,000.
multiple
Sweet. I'm gonna start
factories
building
at some
turrets.
point or another. Oh, you got turrets?
We should have. Yeah, we have turrets.
Okay.
And hey, it's not giving me grief over it.
See?
Sweet. I'm gonna start putting down turrets. The factory's up.
There it goes.
People can start building your ships. We have 2 reactors right now. I'll probably build another one after this first turret.
Yeah.
What's the AI doing? Who has eyes on them?
I'm watching them, and Ogre seems to be nearby.
Are they
they
still
got-
building, or what are they doing?
They have a bunch of stuff. They got a reactor, they have a warehouse, they have a refinery and mines, they have a research center, they have a bunch of turrets all over the place. One,
Do the
two,
warehouses work
three.
yet, Arthur?
They just started building a second reactor.
Jordan, what did you say?
Do the warehouses work yet, or is the AI
Yeah,
just
no,
building that?
the warehouses work fine. They always have.
I remember you saying like there wasn't a point for them yet because we don't actually have limits.
Yeah, there's no limits. I'm not saying they don't work, but they
Oh, okay,
don't
gotcha. The
force
warehouses
anything.
work, but I don't yet have a reason to build it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll just get the arms from the refinery versus the warehouse, for example. Now he has a warehouse, and so when he goes, I'm watching his stuff from orbit here. His builder bot is on the way to the warehouse to go pick up some stuff because he wants to build things. Because he's still building up. He does not have a factory up yet. That's why we're not swarmed. But he's definitely active. He's got turrets up. He's got 2 reactors. He's got a refinery, and so he's pulling from the.
Well, if he doesn't have a factory yet, Arthur, why don't you then take the time to try and like have a bit of fun with the ship designer, since you're usually just like rushing a ship out, but he hasn't got a factory up yet.
He's probably doing that next,
I
honestly.
say that's generally next.
But I'm saying you guys
Yeah,
have got some
watching.
time, you know, see what you can put together that isn't just slap, because you want to demonstrate that, right?
I do, but I got a feeling his factory's going to be up pretty damn soon. He's
Yeah,
on
that's
his way.
kind of the point.
Well,
Yeah. Not saying we shouldn't design something. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my ship. I'm going to fly back to our base and let's get shot at because I know it's coming.
so Ogre and Paul are watching him.
Yep. Now you guys should end up being quite busy if he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
We can hopefully test a couple of things. We can hopefully test you, for example, building ships and then giving them to Ogre and Paul,
Right.
and then them commanding them with the squadron commands. That'd be really cool.
That's the hope. We'll see. All right, I'm just sort of rocketing over here because I don't get shot by the fences. Okay. All right. So, if they are building a factory, could you please tell me? All right. So we're going to build. What's that?
I said I think that's a factory.
Okie dokie. I figured this was gonna happen. All right. I'm gonna do like a full auto helper kind of setup. So I'm gonna do a, Kathleen's red ship. I am going to do heavy beam weapons because I can.
They officially have enemy ships.
Oh gods. All right.
Yeah, I was just going over to confirm that, but yeah, they're firing at me. As a matter of fact.
Incoming. Literally. Unfortunately. Yeah. So
All right, I'm gonna help out with this.
It begins.
And so it begins. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the auto helper. And I want...
Let's check
make
the
it a
acid
little bit
stream. See how we're
faster.
doing
I
on
want
power.
higher power because every time I've done this before, the power really sucks. Do we have shields yet, by the way?
Yes.
Yes, we do have shields. Okay.
We have shields, we have autocannons, we have missiles, and we have capacitors.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to leave the base intact?
Yes, please.
For right now, yes. But longer term, maybe not. Whoa, that was way too big. I don't think we want 5,000 shields. Actually, we probably did want 5,000 shields, but yeah, I don't think that was the intention.
But can our power support it? Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. So. And computers 2 is done, but I still cannot research facilities myself.
Wow, this is going to be really big. That's a problem. Yeah, that's really a problem. That's
Real quick,
really...
Matt, are you able to do the research on research facilities Mark II?
Let me see.
Now, I went through all that, Hey, Jill Cross. I hope everyone's got a good day with you, too. Sorry, no one's paying attention to the chat.
I'm sorry.
I am not able to do the research on research facilities too.
Fantastic. Alright, well, I'm sorry, Art. It didn't work.
Hey Jill, how's it going?
Alright, now you got me curious. You're saying that the research doesn't work?
I'm saying
It is
that we
still
can't
marked
currently...
as not. We're missing some required technology.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish the shielding thing here so I
Yeah,
can get
yeah,
this design out, and then I'll go check that. Because I did check it earlier today, and it was working. That was one of the patches I did.
But, well, remember, last week you could do it, but none of the rest of us could.
That's true. Alright, since this should stay, I'll just go out and look. Okay, so we go to the research. Now what couldn't you do?
I cannot do research facilities Mark II.
Okay, according to this, electromagnetics. Okay, power 3 is available. You didn't do, well, there's computers 3.
Yeah, I did.
Computers 3 allows. Alright, so you did that part. I mean, I don't even have it. Research facilities.
It should be
That was
between
locked.
reactors 2 and standard armor 2.
Oh, I see it.
You got 2 incoming ogre.
Yeah, I know.
Computers and research facilities. And you did.
Like,
Huh. I mean, on the server, it says you can't do it.
upsetting.
Very. That's very strange, actually. Is it because we reloaded? I don't think so. Computer series. Because I actually did this exact thing earlier this morning.
Right.
Yeah, you're right, I can't move it. If I can do power 3, I can do computers 3. Yeah, no, you can't do it. That's very odd and strange, and I don't know why. Is it because you had 2 research facilities? Is that it? Why would that make a difference? But
Well, last week, remember, we had 2 research facilities, and you were the only one who could do it, but still, like, you definitely could do it.
yeah, no, I don't know. That's very, very strange. I don't understand why.
Well, that's a shame, but that means that for the time being, I can't do things very quickly. But
Yeah.
I'll probably just put down more research facilities and try and still get you guys some stuff.
Yeah, no, I can appreciate that. So, I'm trying to lower the shield. It's like, well, huge.
We'll have to figure it out.
Pretty much. Yeah, I definitely overdid the shields here. I gotta change these numbers here. That should be what it is.
All the same. I think for now, then let's just focus on the having multiple ships out and commanding them.
True.
Figure out what's up with the research another day.
Yeah. I'll have to, but that's very strange that would happen that way. I didn't do multiple facilities, and maybe that's the difference, so I don't know. We also reloaded, so that's a different variable in the mix too.
Well, if we have a start over point at some point tonight, I will build only 1 research facility.
Okay.
And we'll see if that changes things.
And if that does, then that answers that, or at least gives me a place to where to look, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Alright, so let me add some armor before I get too crazy with this.
Okay. Is it okay if I take out their factory to give us some time?
No.
No. Okay.
Hey, Adam.
Yep.
Tech web question. So, if I want to help and give people access to better armor, that is under materials, right?
I believe it is materials and one other. Basically, look at the first armor and whatever the two primary texts there. You'll just need to go up the tree for both.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know where armor is. Oh, probably under researchable items.
Alright, that didn't work.
Oh, standard armor one. Gotcha. Materials and fabrication. Okay.
Why isn't this doing this thing here? Alright, I don't know if we
There's
Well,
something
that's-
satisfying about like taking out an enemy ship as soon as it gets out of the factory.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Actually, no, let's test one thing to test this. I own a ship, don't I?
Yeah, you should.
Okay. Do we want to test if I can gift that ship to somebody? Or will I not?
You should
do
be
that
able to
with my
transfer
only
it.
ship?
Although they should be able to just up and do it anyway. No, that's running, so why
So,
isn't the auto helper?
My ship, the Wanker, I'm assuming.
Yes. There it goes, maybe.
Give
Hopefully.
control to Ogre.
Yeah.
Okay, and now I have to hit new squadron. Is my only option.
Look out there,
Let's
Matt.
try it. Okay.
So, other cockpit. Okay, so it didn't put
I've
the
noticed
shields
it
down.
anything.
I'll just add shields
Ogre
now.
now has 2 copies of the Wanker under his control.
Right.
There you go, Ogre. You should be able to try and like command
that's
it with
too
the
big.
squadron controls.
All right. We definitely need
I told them to form on me, so hopefully they're coming toward me.
Hopefully.
I presume you want shielding on this thing.
Now, of course, I'm gonna try not to exit the sim screen because I don't know where I'll be if I do that. Sorry, not to exit the nav screen.
Nav screen. Difference. Okay, let's see if this works. Oh, why is the space? The normal deflector shield's that big? Okay, no, I'm looking. Okay, I'm looking at a different thing. I'm not looking at the right thing. Never mind. I'm looking at the space, not the field generated. Okay, that's good right there. So I want around 2,000. That's what I want. And we're gonna plop this into place. Boop. Okay. That's a big old shield generator. We're gonna keep that, because why not? Okay. Oh, what I didn't do, of course, is assign the weapons. That does help. Alright, so we'll put these guys right here, I guess. We should put reminders on the thing saying, hey, you forgot this part.
Alright, I'm having a little trouble fighting with the nav screen right now.
Okay, sorry. Okay, could someone please go into the factory and start cranking out these ships?
I mean, I guess I could, but I'm hoping for more people to do things.
I will, then I'm doing it. Don't worry about it. So, you want the bottom one, I think, with the one with the shielding. Although we gotta figure out which one's which, because I made several saves.
So I do not think that my my ship has moved since Ogre asked it to form up.
Well, because yours is a different AI kind of situation anyway, so I wouldn't expect that.
I tried to give it to him.
Yeah, we're still piloting it. What else you're piloting?
That's fair. I thought that's what I was saying. I figured if it was a stupid idea, you'd say something, but I guess you were focused on the shipbuilder, which is fair.
Yes, yes.
For those wondering, by the way, the Jill in the chat is someone I met through Costco. So
Okay.
Thank you, Jill, for stopping by the live stream and saying hi. That's really cool.
We really appreciate you, hanging out with us, Jill.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Oh, I think it's all the same ship.
Being hit.
Tends
Hit 'em
to happen,
harder.
Paul.
What was that?
That tends to happen, Paul.
How dare they defend themselves? They killed them.
Yes.
Okay, Ernest I guess Ernest is ready to come in, but he, says to send us a message when we start off a fresh session.
Yes. All right, Matt. For whatever reason, I have the ship designs there, but I have 3 of the same exact one,
Interesting.
and so I don't know if that's. So I have the first of the ships coming out. It may be good, it may be bad as far as the design goes. It is what it is. All right, now the server's paused out because it's doing something stupid.
Sorry, I crashed and I was just recording the spot.
All right, well that's why it's pausing at the system.
Should I just wait?
I
Just
crashed.
froze.
Just wait, Paul. There we go.
Okay.
I'm out, so
And you should be able to come back in.
I just crashed out too, actually.
Oh, and there we go.
Alright, well, like I said, the problem is when things get extended, pause, things get all kind of crashy. So I have to wait for everybody to kind of exit the game or come back in or whatever. And, yeah.
Oh, should I just let it exit out?
Are you exiting? What are you doing? Because
Okay, yeah, it just crashed. So
Right. Okay. Some new ships are on the way out of the factory, for good or for ill. So actually, I wanted to go
Our
to
factory, to be clear.
yeah, our factory.
Sweet.
Now I'm gonna load in what we have here and see if it's us. Okay. Oh, I do. So actually, we have 3 ships. Actually, Matt, in the design queue, and that's why, I guess.
3 of the same ship?
I assume so because nothing's changed on it. Why can't I see? All right, that one's assigned.
I'm waiting for my graphics to finish loading, and then I will be attempting to join.
That one's assigned.
Hello. Live stream multiplayer challenge. So
Joining.
And that one's
But this free chicken, so
okay.
I guess Shane's not coming tonight.
All right,
Paul
Paul.
said he was going to check his schedule, right?
And call us, so.
Yeah.
I
No
didn't
problem.
think he'd come.
No problem. No problem.
Is it safe to try to rejoin yet?
It should be.
Yeah, I rejoined.
I'm in the process of rejoining.
Nice.
I'm rejoining. Just click sandbox or no?
No, join multiplayer.
Thought so.
Yeah, the constant stream
back in.
of bots is starting to rip apart our tiny fleet.
Yeah. Well, we have 40 seconds till the first ship's out, so I think I made this far too expensive, so I probably shouldn't have gone for the Uber ship and gone
Joining.
for like a lesser ship.
Okay, I saw. It took a little longer than normal to get in. I
Yeah, it
got
was
in.
slightly
I was
longer.
looking down at the enemy base from where I had been, and then I crashed out.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and rejoin again.
Well, I see a giant furball going on over there. Should probably go to the sim screen. Actually, it looks like we have our first ship out. So if someone wants to possess it, they can. Oh, there it is. I see it. It's the glowy ball.
Wow, yeah, those are some intense shields.
I said it they were, actually. I told you I,
I
shouldn't
mean,
have built them the way I did.
It doesn't look like the AI has any shields. It's certainly the peak of technology there.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's what it is. You're getting a lot of pausing, and I know that's from the logging of the AI. I gotta turn that off because I remember that's what caused the problem before and made it very unusable. So it's a change to the code in the game so that the log isn't as ridiculous.
What are recovery shields?
I don't know, Adam. Why don't you explain what recovery shields are?
Alright, so shields have 2 components into them. It's obviously the actual defensive value they have and how fast they recover.
Okay.
So you may not have reached that bird. Besides the standard shield, there are also 2 types. There are heavy shields and recovery shields. Heavy shields have basically a larger defensive value, but basically they recover slower. Recovery shields basically have a smaller upfront defensive value, but then they actually recover themselves much faster.
Alright, so let's research some of those.
So also one important thing to note with shields that basically that all the other capacitors work in a pretty standard way, just basically acting as an extra pool of energy for the subsystem that they influence. However, the shield capacitors work differently. They are actually a multiplier for the shield recovery. So if you want your shields to be effective, you definitely want to put on shield capacitors.
Okay, cool.
Like if you're willing to basically spend the time with the research, you can actually totally go with basically heavy shields and shield capacitors as basically the best setup. Very expensive, but also very effective.
All right, so I just possessed the new ship, and actually, it's a good idea to do what I did. Actually, scarily enough.
Alright, so I think I'll research heavy armor now.
Probably not a bad idea.
And I don't know. Magnetic cannons? Magnetic cannons.
All right.
Yeah, railguns are good.
It's not very as speedy as I might like, but it's not that bad either.
But I believe we still don't actually have a way in game of actually refitting and rearming. So
No, usually things get blown up, so you couldn't get them refitted anyway.
Yeah.
Am I moving?
Maybe.
Like anyone who's in the game over by me, am I actually moving or not?
I see things blowing up over there.
There's so many things I'm not even sure if I can really reasonably figure out which one is you.
Okay.
Everything looks blue now.
I may actually be on the ground.
Yeah, I
But it
should
looks like
turn
the
them.
buildings are floating past me.
Wow, I mean, someone's doing some real harshing to them.
I'm just trying to disable as many of them as I can.
You're doing a good job of it. Because every time I try to
Yeah.
track one, he's dying. Alright, I really gotta turn off this, the left.
Yeah.
Jeez, wow, you're just like eating them alive. Alright. I'm out of ships to kill. I know, poor me. Alright, I gotta turn off this, the logging, or else it's killing the server. I mean, you guys aren't seeing it, but me on the server, it's pausing like crazy because the logging's
I
going
think I might be
crazy.
seeing it at times.
Yeah.
What's that?
It seems like it's been more pausy this time through.
The zigzagging.
Well, if the server goes too nuts, it's going to cause issues on your end. Some of the server pausiness you're not going to see, but you know, there's nothing stopping me from just turning it off.
Was my point.
What's that?
I think we are seeing some of it.
Well, I can save game and we all come back in, and yeah, you're definitely tearing them up. And I can turn it off in the code, and it should prevent the server from being as ridiculously laggy as it is right now.
You didn't tell me the select builder button was working.
Oh, yeah, all those things are working. Yeah, no, sorry about that. I thought you knew that.
It wasn't working the first time it was there. I know that we were talking
Way
about
back when, yes, but I've since fixed it. So yeah, I haven't actually been doing things.
Oh yeah, sometimes it's like we never talk about it again, and then it's like, oh yeah, that's totally done.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Hey, can you build me one of those ships? Because I need a new one.
Tell you what, I'll jump back to my old ship, and you can take this one.
All right.
Alright, so let me,
So I think we've got like a whole bunch of dead enemies just floating away into space, right?
Yes.
Those aren't active? Okay.
no, you're not wrong.
Yes, that's why, for the time being, I tend to try and destroy them completely.
Alright, so, Ogre, you can possess my ship.
It's
Meaning
P,
the
right?
red one.
Oh, did somebody crash? Oh, there we go.
It's just, honestly, it's the server being pausy. I really have to change.
The pulse weapons are ready, the Kusanagi Mark 1, and ferroglass armor is now researched, if people would like some better armor, I guess.
All right.
I assume it's better.
Yeah. Okay. I am, as much as people want to continue with it the way it is, what I'm going to do is, Ogre, after you possess it...
I'm in, so...
Okay. What I want to do is I want to tell the game to purposely save, and I'm going to exit the game, change the code, and come back in to remove all this jumpiness.
Okay.
It won't take me that long to do it. I just... Because it's unplayable for me at this point, because the lagging, and I know exactly what it is. We turned it on because of debugging, but there's too much stuff out here now. If that makes sense. Alright? So I'm
Putting in the ship.
and now, so the server's now down. Refresh. Okay, so it's manual save 20, so I know what I'm coming back in with. Give me a moment, and we'll turn the stupidity off because it's really epically
yes,
bad.
right. Oh, that's it. It's not a fresh session. Never
Yeah.
mind. Ignore me.
Should I quit out then?
Yes, because you're not in the server anymore. Right now.
Ernest, the stream is jumping for the because he's asking a question on the Twitch for the reasons that Arthur was just saying. He himself is having lag issues and he's adjusting things.
Yeah, there's I wish I knew. Is it the top of the? Give me a moment, and I'll just.
I can type something in the chat if you want.
Yes, please. Sorry.
Alright, so Jordan, just to address what you said about better armor. So, technically, because the freeform way that the shipbuilding currently works, is that it's in some ways you can achieve the same armor values with any armor you pick. It's really, in the end, what it costs you. So certain armor,
How do you mean?
certain armor will be heavier, which means basically it doesn't have an upfront cost, but basically it will make your ship go slower unless you want to basically invest into bigger engines. Other armor will basically cost you more for the amount of armor you get. So it's always kind of a trade-off for that. Same thing with pretty much everything else. You can always put more on, but it's going to make your ship
Right. Okay.
larger and more expensive.
So instead of better armor, I should have said heavier armor because I'm pretty sure that's the research that unlocked that armor.
Yes.
Yeah, essentially what it is, it gives for the actual like cost in RMs to build it. It actually is heavier, but it actually gives you significantly more armor value.
Gotcha.
Which means basically if you choose to keep the engines the same, your ship will be slower. But you can always just choose to make your ship more expensive, put more engines, put more power on, and achieve the same effect for an ultimately more expensive ship overall.
Right. Gotcha.
Eventually, in the future, we do intend to implement actually space limitations.
Mm-hmm.
So certain ships will only be able to have a certain amount of basically space worth of items on them. Once that happens, then the game changes entirely.
It does.
Then basically, you can put more stuff on, but basically, if you want your ship to basically have the same power structure and the same speed, you're going to need more energy, more engines, and more fuel cells, and those take space. So there is a finite room for them. So you have to pick, how much shielding, how much power, how much speed, how much weapons you want.
Knowing what you know about
space.
how the early weapons match up compared to the early armor, early shields, which is, superior, having a heavier armor?
All right, can I interject? The server's back up.
Okay, connecting. So basically, is it a better strategy, early on to have heavier armor if the weapons aren't very good yet, because we're using the tier? I have no idea how well the AI is at doing its research.
It's not great, but it's thorough.
Yeah. Currently, the jury is out. That's one of the things why I want to do some more of this multiplayer testing is to figure out basically what is actually the good strategy. Because also keep in mind, playing versus the current iteration of the AI will be much different versus playing the new AI once that gets implemented, and is always going to be different than playing versus players. So your strategy is going to vary depending on who you're playing and what scenario. Right now, I'd say basically that it's simply because of the power requirements that getting good armor to start with and a good beam weapon that doesn't need to be recharged is a pretty good early game strategy.
Right, because we don't have the ability to reload weapons yet.
Yep, and also basically the secondary cost for the shields. To be effective with shields, you really want both the shield. You want the shield capacitors, plus you'll need much larger fuel cells to power them. So there's a lot more that goes into that than just basically a little bit of armor. Your ship can be a little bit slower and have much more armor and still be more effective.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, let me ask if are people in? What's going on?
I just tried to rejoin and I crashed.
All right, because the server's completely paused out.
All right, I'm in, and not much seems to be moving. So
nothing's moving because we're waiting for someone who's to unlock the system.
Let me do task manager and a end task.
Oops, I just crashed out when I tried to. Oh,
right,
nope,
I
didn't crash.
Yeah, I just
almost
closed it out.
All right.
And just to note, it's not the audio. Not the frame rate. It's the audio is actually cutting out. It's not synchronous with the jumping of the ship screen. The point where it's almost unwatchable. It's gotten a little better again, but stream is video as well.
All right, I had to figure out what's going on with the OBS. It didn't used to do all this kind of craziness. I've upgraded to a faster video card to solve exactly this problem. And so I don't understand what the issue is. Now I realize we're sending to Twitch now versus YouTube, and that might be part of it. It could be a number of different things. I honestly don't know.
That's a shame.
Maybe we gotta do some test live streams or whatever, and we'll have to see what the last time I did this, the local recording wasn't that great either. I'm hoping that's different this time.
Okay.
We could always work that into Thursdays.
Yeah, we have to figure out what's causing the problem. So, Ogre, are you in?
Yeah, man, I've been in.
Do you want to possess the shielded ship?
I've been in it.
Well, it's kind of sitting there.
I stopped.
I'm trying to reload back
in.
in.
Something, but
What's that?
I'm moving now. You see me moving?
No.
Is there two of them?
Yeah, I built two.
I might have taken the other one then.
Okay. See if we can find it.
Yeah, I see you moving around, Ogre.
Oh, I see Ogres moving around. But the other one is just sitting above their factory. I thought that was one of us.
Is that me? Hold on, I'm trying to rejoin. Well, now I'm engineless, and I'm just grazing against the ground.
No, it's just a ship. I think it's one of the other ones that I built, because I told it to build 2 of them. So I dispossessed it. Although it's... Who's joining and who crashed? Hello?
Oh, I just tried to join and yeah, it looks like it just crashed.
Yes, alright.
Sorry there.
Once again, for the audience, this part is not yet in the demo for the reasons you're seeing. If it does look a little choppy on the stream, we're sorry, but and I'll type something up too in case you want to hear this.
Alright, Paul, don't try to join right now, okay?
Alright, I'll just watch. I'm staying by.
Because it's killing the server, and we're trying to test this, and it's not helping. Alright.
I'll type up an explanation.
Yeah.
Looks like the shielded ship is moving out.
Yeah, well, because I'm in it now. So, but if we look, alright, I'm not getting the crazy pausing anymore. Alright? And apart from, I don't know why Paul's machine's having the problem, but obviously it is. And that was causing a lot of things. Now I'm getting good frame rate. Now there's not this massive stop that made the game completely unplayable. Now for the other people who are in, are you having any issues anymore?
The research screen is just a little bit laggy, but that's like, I'll tell someone to research and it might take a couple seconds for it to say, oh yeah, sure, it's researching.
Yeah. Enemy ships are basically jumping in position as they have been, but other than that, it seems fine.
We have an Annie Naweb in the chat.
Yes.
Maybe by decreasing the quality of the delay will decrease.
It's possible. I can see what the, I don't know if I can do that on the fly. Yeah, I'm getting a solid frame rate now at this point, because I turned off the debugging.
I'm just typing up a bit of an explanation for the audience about, if it seems a bit choppy, it's not necessarily the game. We're having a bit of streaming problems, and there is a reason that this particular mode of play is not yet in the demo release. It's not quite ready.
Very much so, but I'm getting a very solid frame rate on my end. I wish people could see it. But yeah, this is so much better on my end.
Oh, cool. I'm now researching General Refinery and Rapid Refinery. Adam, tell me about those, please. You stole my heart.
So what Rapid Refinery does is, it's actually kind of rather wasteful. It will basically produce arms at a faster pace than the General Refinery, but also chews up more ore in the process of doing so. So if you have a lot of excess ore, you can use that to basically increase your production, but at a cost of more ore.
Ah, okay.
And
And then the General Refinery is just an upgrade on the refinery.
Correct.
Okay, well, one of them's done, so let's give that a try.
So the way that effectively functions is the game system allows you to basically pick basically the ratio of basically how many ore get turned into refined materials. So it has basically a worse ratio, but also basically produces them much faster.
Gotcha. Now we're putting down new buildings.
So again, that is one of the potential power plays. Is basically to have a whole bunch of mines all over the place, and then basically then use the rapid refinery. Basically,
Sure, if we wanted to if we wanted to kick up into a bit of a lightning blitzkrieg, we could produce that much materials faster.
Yep.
So who are the AIs chasing after? They're going off into deep space.
I think a lot of them are just dead.
No, this guy's fully intact. The Cyborg 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm actually just trying, I should probably do a different ship design that's actually faster than heavier. Because this is like heavily defended, because that's what I was worried about. And I got plenty of power, but the reality is that, yeah, it's harder for me to catch them. I have to afterburner to get to them.
Yep, you'd always boost.
Dragon Ball Z had a whole episode about that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Believe it or
weird. I don't
not.
know where they're going.
Yeah, that's where they're going.
They've decided they can't win, so now they're just basically fleeing the planet.
Okay, well, I'm definitely, these guys are definitely, doesn't take much to take them down. I think I got like 4 guns tearing them up.
Do point defense lasers, like, obviously I'm sure the research works, but is that actually like a component that works yet?
Nope, they're
for
effectively
missiles.
just short term, just basically short-range lasers. They don't actually have like the auto targeting thing. going yet.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the question. Ernest had mentioned he wants to come in. Since I just updated all this, and I know Paul wants to come in, should we start from scratch again, or go from the older
Sure.
save? Or,
Yeah,
what
I
should we do?
We're only an
restart.
hour in. Now's a good
Yeah.
time for a restart.
It is a good time for a restart, but think of it this way. We haven't done this before, and there's really nothing overtly wrong.
Yeah.
That's an improvement. And I hear, like, obviously stuff is still going on in the background. I see ogres still flying around killing things.
Before we restart, let me try
Yeah.
putting down the 2 new refinery buildings to make sure there isn't any kind of weird glitch relating to them.
Fair enough. Ogre, let's take out their base.
Oh, well then. If we're going to do that.
Well, we're going to restart anyway. We might as well take out their base, because that's what it comes down to at this point. We both are heavily shielded. We have enough reactors. I mean, you must like the fact that your guns don't run dry very easily.
Yeah, that's definitely nice.
So these things are kind of ready for that kind of insanity. So we might as well take out the turret systems and then blow them up. Or we just take out the reactors, because then the turrets will just shut down anyway.
That was my thought.
Is assault drone something we can actually use?
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh, okay.
What does assault drones do?
So essentially, you've got missiles. Missiles and drones effectively work on the same chassis under the hood. The only difference is basically essentially missiles are much faster and they don't live nearly as long. Drones aren't nearly as fast, but they live much longer. So instead of a missile basically will chase you for a little bit at high speed,
There it goes.
catch you. Versus assault drones will be slower but more determined, so they will continue to chase you. So you can release a whole bunch of them.
Drone will actually just shoot.
Oh no, they will not. They're effectively suicide drones. They just stand up. They still do damage. They're not actually like independent like tiny ships.
Gotcha.
Hey Arthur, is there a different time you got a lot of stuff?
Yeah, more like that.
Well,
It's just constantly sounds like you get shot at with laser beams.
well, that's actually what's happening.
Oh yeah, when I out the sound of lasers going off.
I'm like going crazy.
Where you're at the base.
Yeah, but the sound does go down.
Just want to make sure.
It is a little snowy, like that's yeah.
That's because there's so many ships running around. See, ogres make better headway about things than I do. Probably because I'm not letting my hands move.
Okay. Bug found the Rapid Refinery Mark 1. It's in the list. You can't actually do select it.
Alright, now I'm curious. I'll only go check that.
But at least it doesn't it's kind of like when you try to select turret before, but now the menu doesn't break, so that's probably...
Okay, so is it the tech or where is this?
when you want to build it.
Oh, you can't build it.
Yeah, I can't tell it's actually being built.
Let's see the first one.
But
Yeah,
it's the
that
one
noise is someone shooting at one of the buildings. Turn around here. Oh, that and then it just went up, as you can see. Yeah, there's not
Yeah,
much
so
left, so Ogre did his
They
job
go to the
quite
builder
well.
bot, go to refineries.
Now, do people hear this any more noise anymore?
If I want to build a Rapid Refinery Mark 1, it just won't let me do it. I click and it does the thing flashes up acknowledging that I've clicked something, but it doesn't actually give me the option to then click the thing to build.
Alright, well now I'm hearing. Ogre, could you stop bar for a second? Alright, do you still hear it once you hear me through the... I mean, someone else is still firing, from the sounds of it, but...
Someone's firing distantly, that's probably the AI.
Yeah. Do you still hear the static?
Hold on. It just got to the point now.
And?
No static. We're good. Okay, so it was the background really far
So
back.
it's the sound. Whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
it just didn't look like you're near anything at all, and it was just shh.
The 3D-ness of the sound does not work as well as I would like it to. I'll put
I
it that way.
got you. I just thought it was because the feed's so choppy, like the audio is so choppy. I didn't know it was actually part of the possible reason why the audio feed was so choppy.
Should I kill the feed and do any suggestion and lower the quality on Twitch? Maybe
Try it.
I mean, it's only pause the feed, but
Or unless you can decrease the, because it seems more like the audio's more of a problem than the video. But
I mean, we can always change for next time. But there's not much less of their base. Oh, it would help if I actually weapons recharge. So, safety tip for everybody who's actually using weapons: let your weapon capacitor recharge. They might be firing.
Yeah, so just, I guess, to wrap up, for some reason, it only seems to be this particular thing. The Rapid Refinery build command is broken.
Can I try, actually, Ogre, why don't you clean up, and I'm gonna go in there and try what you're doing, so make sure that
Okay. And what else I found was that, like, if I then, like, exit the build, which I can still exit the build menu nicely, that fix you did is working great.
Yeah.
And then if I go back in, if I try to hit refinery, it won't let me do it until I, hit something else first, like warehouse, and then the build menu works normally after that.
So, you were trying to build a refinery, right?
Rapid refinery. It's the, if you go to refinery, it's the third one to the right.
Third one to the right. Okay, so click
All the way
that.
to the right.
And once I build it, I do 2.
Right, exactly.
Huh, that's very strange. So I do
But it's just that.
refinery.
Maybe it does. Maybe it just doesn't. For that one, it just actually doesn't know what to do yet. Maybe something disconnected in a weird way.
That's very strange. It shouldn't even be in the list that was confused. Do you have like alternate factories? Do you have anything else that you have multiples of?
Let me check. There's a warehouse mark too. Let's try that.
All right, warehouse.
Yep, I can build that. And also, like you mentioned, there's two refineries there. I can build both of those. It's just rapid refinery.
I wonder if it's the third one or the fact that it's rapid
I don't know.
Builder bot for this thing. I don't know.
Well, that's something to look into. It's not that important.
Well,
it's sort of like the research. It's something we'll look into over time. It's not going to break the game right now.
right. The research thing is still annoying because I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it should have been fixed.
Yeah, but at least it's better than a crash.
It's
right,
definitely far better than a crash.
Are we resetting to bring Ernest in? And did you want to adjust the stream?
Well, I don't know if adjusting the stream's gonna do anything, but yeah.
Because we can always, put up a message saying, hey, the stream will go down temporarily and it'll be back up within 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So if we want to do that, we should just tell people.
Yeah, it should take about like 30 seconds.
Yes, but we tell people, we say within 5 minutes, and that way you don't, people are...
Alright, so we're exiting the server. We're
Alright.
going to adjust the live stream and see if that helps, but I don't think it's going to. The reason why I don't think it's going to, I'm using NDI, and on the laptop it's pausy, whereas on the desktop it isn't.
We're going to be adjusting the stream.
Okay.
We will go offline temporarily.
Yep.
And be back within 5 minutes.
Yes, or sooner. Alright, so I'm going to quit out of the server. Alright, I'm going to start anew so that everyone can come in and stuff like that.
Arthur.
Yes.
The ship is nice. If I'm not moving, not
is.
getting hit, I don't have to stop firing.
Oh, because the engines aren't eating up the rest of the power.
Yep. The capacitors are recharging as fast as I'm using them.
That's not a bad
That
thing.
reminds me of that one gun, the
Actually,
Gao.
it's faster, because occasionally I'll move a little bit and it'll drop down and then fill back up as I'm constantly firing.
Alright, let me stop the stream for a half second. Let me adjust it then.
That reminds me, I know it's not the same situation, but it reminds me of that one gun, Ogre. You ever heard that one, the Gao Avenger? Where they built the plane around the gun, and if they fire the gun too constantly, it will actually slow the fighter jet down.
I had not heard that particular one. That's the music now.
Yeah, it's basically like the recoil is actually stronger than the jet's thrusters, and so yeah, it has to be fired in bursts because it will stop the plane. Alrighty. Now's a good time also for me to reload up the game so all the graphics are ready by the time we're ready to start.
All right, the streaming should be going again.
Take a look.
And we'll see. I'll bring up the game itself. Now, I'm happy that the server didn't eat itself, and we were playing for a very long time there. And while there's some issues, it's becoming more solid, which is what
that was the smoothest in a while.
Yeah, and like I said, once I removed all the logging, which I almost guarantee you. All right, as much as I hate to do it, we're not actually using the logs of people. Matt, do you think just as a standard issue that when we do the releases, we remove the overt amounts of logging so that it doesn't slow down people's systems as much?
At this point, yes. We can always re-enable it and bring people in for testing during the week.
Right.
Okay, stream's live again.
Yep. Are we pausey, or how's it look? Or
it's a little pausey.
Okay.
I mostly judge it by the scrolling text on the bottom, but
yeah, I do too. I think it's NDI.
It's not extreme.
Yeah.
I don't know. 1 second.
Not thrilled about it. I'm gonna have to play with them because I know we had it running at one point. So the server's up, but what I'm doing is on the main machine, I'm exporting it at 4K 60, and then the other machine's decoding it down to something smaller. I don't really want to remove the 4K stream because that's being posted on YouTube, but this should be able to handle it. I mean, it's a fast machine, etc., but it's just...
So I'm looking mostly at the visual. The visual's pretty smooth. I naturally don't have the audio because it would be on my iPad. You'd all be hearing it.
Yeah.
The audio's good. It's
Audio's
not
good?
like it was before. Yeah, I'll check it later.
Okay.
Later on after we start going. Yeah, it's getting pretty terrible.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, again, we're an hour and a half in.
Yeah.
And now it's second set. So that again, part of it is like my perspective, and I know I'm the chatty one.
Yeah.
But my perspective was just it was pretty smooth for me. I reported the hiccups I encountered, but I didn't encounter anything game breaking.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And meaning as I'm sitting there just building things, I had a very relatively smooth game. There's still sometimes the nav screen is a little fighty. I think it has to do with when your viewpoint is trying to cross over those triangles. Yeah. It will fight you over it. But I assume
me.
I'm mentioning it, but it's sort of like, well, that's all things that try to cross those triangles. It doesn't like it.
Well, that's the point. What I'm trying to do fix next is to finally fix that equation, and so that won't be an issue anymore.
So if I wasn't seeing ships also have the same problem, I would think it was kind of weird, but
yeah,
it's par for the course.
But the hope is you're seeing improvement.
Yeah, I mean, again, the asset screen's been a problem, but it's better. We don't know why it sounds like we don't know why it started working again, and Matt could send stuff to me.
Maybe because we loaded the game? I don't know.
There seems to be something going on at the very least with doing stuff when buildings are being built, when there are transitional stages, and we're trying to change some other feature. That seems to produce some sort of glitch.
Yeah. So, Jordan, you ready?
Oh, yes. Apologies.
There you go. Is everybody in before I start it up?
Where's Paul at?
Paul, you around?
Oh, do I have to? Are we ready to rejoin the game?
Yes, Paul.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I couldn't tell if you were talking about the live stream going up again or. Right, I'm loading. All right, and
I'm just typing in the chat.
Beam ship. I guess I'm ready.
All
Okay,
right.
cool.
Everybody in? All right.
No, Ernest is the War Master.
He's the
Yes,
War
I
Master.
am.
There you go. So we're
Don't
actually.
ready for you.
That sounds firm but fair.
And despite how ridiculous things were going, because you have to remember the machine's still encoding OBS and stuff like that, etc. 4K. We were getting a solid. I was getting a solid frame rate once I did the patch removing the obsessive logging. Basically, I have an obnoxiously verbose log going on in the background to help debug this stuff, and it's helpful. But for frame rate, I found that it does make the frame rate super tank because the logs are absolutely huge.
I'm a scrappy ship again.
I suppose one of the things I should have done is reset my config file, huh?
You can still do that.
Still not as crappy as their ships.
I just don't know how to get out of the screen I'm in right now.
Hit escape.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's a picture of a unfolded model. I cannot escape the screen.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
You're in
move
the
your
self-damage.
mouse to the upper left-hand corner of the screen.
Oh, there it is.
And
Thank
click.
you. I didn't even see that X.
There's an X that even when it's not displaying, the functionality is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I saw it. Right after you said look at the left-hand upper left, I was like, oh, there's
Yeah,
an X.
that's the last remnants of one of the older screens, and
Yeah, I was pushing
that's
the
in
F keys
process.
to get into my different menus. I realized that I didn't reset the config screen.
Yes.
So we will get to the factory screen a lot faster if people give me budget and money now.
You're getting money from. You're gonna get.
We don't have any money yet. You do realize that, don't you?
No, I don't.
You didn't build any resources, meaning mines or refineries.
So remember Adam saying that we have a certain amount of starting money. Is that divided between us?
No, you don't have a certain amount of starting money at all. The builder bot has a certain amount of resources it has before it actually has the mine.
Okay, gotcha.
And so that's the only thing that it has. It has nothing to do with anybody else.
All right, and I remember now. That's right. I was going to build only one research station as a test.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just remembered that.
Right.
All right. So we're gonna start with.
And so it's doing its thing over here.
Binary. Though Ernest can still set where my budget's gonna be.
He can. He can do that right now because he's the War Master.
I am doing that to everyone.
Alright, so I will actually look in the asset screen and see what you're doing in there.
And I'm donating it all to Jordan.
There you are at that. Yeah, we have to put that, like, kill all button, if you know what I mean, into the asset screen so that it makes it easier.
I kind of like, it's not too bad right now because once I set, like, the person who I want to be lowest, I can just click on every name. That's Jordan.
Actually, didn't we decide that it should be, like, a, set all to this ratio kind of thing? Meaning, you click the button and you can put it from 0 to 100 and everybody moves. And you can always go back to an individual and move them up and down as the case may be. So, I mean, isn't that what we decided?
Something along those lines, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, fair enough. So
Alright, Jordan.
Ooh, the stream has gone fuzzy.
It's gone fuzzy?
Yes.
Well, I did lower the quality. I put performance over other things, but I mean, so it's turned outright fuzzy?
Not terrible on my screen.
Keep in mind, I'm playing on a fruit pad. I'm watching on a fruit pad, so
Okay, fair enough.
Not exactly a quality device. So that's what I bring attention to. If Ernest says it looks good for him, then that's just my iPad isn't like this quality level.
Fair enough.
Oh well.
Well, ironically, my CPU
is
is not doing badly. I'm looking at the system, and I wouldn't say it's idling, but it's not doing that much. So it's doing its thing. All right. So yeah, you're doing Trent installations now.
Oh damn! I should have done factory. Oh well.
Fair enough. It's 30 seconds. It's not gonna take that long.
Yeah.
And I just listened to the audio, and it's not as terrible as it was earlier. It's still a little skippy, but nothing like it was.
All right. Well, I mean that's something at least.
And it sounds like mostly it's coming through TeamSpeak, because when Jordan was talking, it was more skippy than when you're talking.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. See what happens. Okay, you're doing factors now. Okay. By the way, Matt, do you have a sort routine for this stuff?
Which stuff?
For the research lists?
It should basically be sorted automatically as it populates, because it'll populate the stuff that's researchable, and then the stuff that's coming up, and then the stuff that's
Well, the
already
researchable
researched.
items is definitely auto sorts, but the researchable text does not.
Yeah.
Heads up, they got their factory now.
All right.
Oh, it's
I'm gonna build us a factory in just a sec.
Does that mean I should get a design out then?
Yeah, now's a good
looks
time
like
to put a
they've
design
got
together.
ships.
They got
With them
ships already?
Them manufacturing so early means their ships might be rather incompetent,
Yeah.
which might actually be a boon. They'll have bad ships, and there'll be a resource drain producing all those ships.
That's true.
I already disabled one of their ships.
All right, our factory's coming up, but yeah, unfortunately, with only one research, it's going to be much slower for me to give you guys the kind of tech that makes the ships good.
Well, once you get the first computer thing out, which at least 5 minutes in,
But
that will determine whether or not
do like
if it's
capacitors and standard shields and stuff first.
Yeah, keep in mind, basically, once you have basically all the tier 0 tech, like all the shield capacitors, everything, you can still build a good ship.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. Normally, I have 2 research centers, but now I'm doing everything one at a time because we're testing to see if that might be why it wasn't giving us the option to research the second level research center.
I'm just saying, get some minimal out, then do computers when we get to that earlier.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So.
Getting you the capacitors. I'm assuming no one's going to actually use autocannons right now. We're all focused on game weapons.
Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay, capacitors are done, so I'm going to get you shields.
1, 2. So Ogre, 3 or 4 weapons?
Our factory is
4.
being built.
4.
I feel like 4. Now, I might not have shielding, but I will definitely have enough juice to fire this stuff. Because it took too long to build before,
I'd wait for a new ship for a while.
Is the the enemy base
Factory's
is now doing
done.
stuff.
Yeah, factory's done. Okay. Well, I just wanted to get something we can crank out, and so that people can actually start flying around stuff. Do we actually have shielding yet?
Not yet.
Yep, no
But
shields
shield's done.
No shields.
Now they're going in. And ready.
Ready for what?
The shields are done.
Oh,
Did they stop producing ships? Looks like.
They stopped producing ships?
They only produced the one. They didn't make any more. They built a reactor instead.
Let's
Okay. Just see.
And
Yeah, they're definitely taking a different route this time for what they're building.
Okay, so you have a lot of the basic stuff. I'm going to start on computers too now.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, the computer's meant to go different routes each time. That's the point. That way it's not always the same game. And sometimes it deadlocks, and I'm not happy with that, but what else is there? Alright, so you won the shielded ship, Ogre?
Yeah, I would like a shielded ship.
Are you sure we have shields? Because I don't see anything here.
I did the shields. I did standard shields. They researched.
Did you get the item?
Yeah, I did it.
Alright, hold on, let me check.
Enemy base does not seem to be doing anything anymore.
No, I'm not seeing anything at all.
That's very strange. I know I did it.
Alright.
They made one ship and then that was it. Then their builder bot made a second reactor, and now there's just boxes on the ground, and it's just sitting there doing nothing.
Without using your weapons, go and ram your ship into it to nudge it.
Yeah, nudge it.
Yeah, deflective shields is researched.
But is it researched? The item's not researched.
Yes, the item is called deflective shield. The technology is called standard shields. I have to research both of them.
Alright, because
I just double checked.
Aligned.
Maybe you have to start a brand new design.
No, I'm looking at the research screen. I don't see it. So how come
That's
you
very
have it that
strange.
way and I'm the server and I can't see it?
If you look on researchable text, standard shield should be all the way at the bottom in gray.
Yeah, I see it.
The builder bot is actually moving again over here.
Yeah. Okay, now it's doing stuff again.
So because you pushed it?
Yeah, I nudged it.
That is amazing. So you can get it moving again by playing bumper cars.
Well,
Like I said before, you get out and push.
after Paul
No,
pushed
it's
it,
not
it
even
didn't
that.
go anywhere, so I pushed it again.
It's an old troubleshooting method.
Oh, no, I see it.
Doesn't
It's-
work,
it's
hit it with
right
a
here.
hammer, and then see if it works then.
Passive maintenance.
We
Yeah,
have
for
like
percussive maintenance.
Exactly.
we have our first like meme for like the game. It's like your enemy is just daydreaming, so like the war master just taps them on the shoulder and they just like wake the fuck, snap back to attention to start building stuff again.
No, we put
Have
we
you
put
gone
on
out
a
and
shirt.
pushed?
As
Yeah.
one we have as one ship crashing into the other one with the text, "Wake up!"
Maybe not that kind of ship.
That's true.
All
That's a
right,
shirt that I
so
would
the shields
wear.
have shown up now for whatever reason. So, all right.
You say you can put the shields on now?
I can put the shields on now, and I'm doing that right now, actually.
Cool.
So I'm putting a much bigger reactor in. I am going to put a decent sized shield in here. And I'm going to make this thing just a lot more speedy because I was getting very annoyed at the fact that
Did someone like nudge one of the cargo containers from the enemies, and now one of their boxes is just floating off into space?
Yes, I did that.
all right. I got to turn gravity on. I really I even showed Matt the equations there. I just didn't turn on gravity. It's there. It's just waiting to be turned on, and maybe I should do that. But then you're going to get a major performance hit because
It's
your
calculated gravity.
engines are going to be constantly fighting gravity. You're not going to
Oh,
sit there
don't
anymore.
put the refinery all the way out there. Come on.
Is it okay if I take out that one like box just is floating away, or will that make bad things happen?
It shouldn't make bad things happen, but just
All right.
If I put down a warehouse rather than running to the refineries, it'll run to the warehouse for stuff, right?
if it depends how much money it has for what it's trying to do.
I'll try putting a warehouse down that's actually more centralized to where our stuff is, because I put that refinery in the middle of nowhere.
All right.
One, like right there.
Okay, so this is not as obnoxiously huge. Okay, good. All right, so that looks okay. I'm going to use the auto helper. And auto help. Good. Okay, so that took. Yep. Wow, that's a big shield, but where's the engines? That did not help. Where's the engines? Frack, where's the engines?
Okay, cool. So in 15 seconds, we'll know if this is the problem and if I can do the research.
Okay.
Computers 2 is almost done.
Okay. Auto help.
Oh my god, I can. I'm researching the next level research facilities. Okay, so that is a hint
Okay.
as to where the problem might be.
Why can't I auto help the... That's very strange. I should be able to tell the system... Alright, I'm very confused. Okay,
What are you trying to do?
there we go. There we go. Oh my god. Oh, this is going to... Okay. Yeah, alright. Hand doing a ship is still black art. I'm not debating that fact.
Yeah, eventually Chris and I are gonna have to figure it out enough to explain it in the next tutorial.
If I have time, I want to make this a lot more friendly instead of just being this what it is right now. Okay. Save design. It's saved. All right, let's see what type of evilness will happen when I try to build this thing. All right, and it will now take 5 minutes. Oh, what did I build? What did I do?
So I'm
Just
hearing
build small.
Jordan
Can't you?
build a second factory.
Oh, what did I do? Okay, so it's big. Why is it so expensive? Probably because the engines is
Do
fast.
you need some money, Arthur?
Jump drive? Why does it have
We
a
don't have
jump
jump
drive on
drives
it?
yet.
Why does it say about the jump drive? Did I put a jump drive on this? This is why that's expensive? We don't have jump drives. Why does it say I have a jump drive?
I mean,
Adam, help! There's a jump drive.
technically, the system does have jump drives. They just don't do anything.
Right,
Yeah, but we
I
don't
know.
get jump drives till Power 3.
Yeah, okay, we got a chemical engine, chemical thruster, solar fuel cell, a weapon capacitor, that's what it is. Deflective shield, and how big is the weapon capacitor? Oh my god, okay. Yeah. So, Ogre, your first new ship will be out in a few minutes, unless you want me to build another ship.
No, I'm good for right now. Like I'm
Don't crash it, because
I'll
you ain't
build
getting another
another
one anytime
factory.
soon.
That's just wild. Okay.
Takes forever to build things now because it went and plopped one of my refineries out in the middle of nowhere, and it has to fly over there to get stuff from it.
So the enemy appears to be building punch turrets, but the factory is still not building any ships. So
Yeah.
Is the factory disabled or somehow? What's this thing all over here? Or is this a builder bot, or what is this?
I mean,
Oh, it's a box!
Yeah, that's the box the Paul was talking about.
Oh, jeez. It's
it's
on its own mission. Good luck. Have a good journey.
their factory.
Oh.
Their factory is full health. I don't know what the deal is.
We're out of
Yeah.
power.
How many refineries, reactors do they have?
2
So they got power.
is what they had last time.
The
Yeah, just-
Admiral on their side should be ordering up ships.
They made one ship and I blew it up, and they just didn't make any others.
They decided if you're going to be a jerk about it, they're going to take their toys and go home.
Now, was it a builder bot or was it an actual like combat ship?
It was a combat ship. It was one of those like spiky-looking, alien-looking ships. Not the builder bot. I left the builder bot alone. The builder bot's still doing stuff.
Yeah, no, he's
Yeah.
building his stuff. I don't know what.
If he's putting turrets
Nudge
up
the
around base.
factory.
Unfortunately, it
Try
doesn't work that way. Now, there's a problem with the heading equation that sometimes it can gimbal lock, and that's why it stops. So if you push it, it undoes the problem. That's not going to be the problem with the factory. Now, there's a
get it.
possibility that maybe the factory's building something obnoxiously big. I don't think so. But
They don't have a refinery.
Ah.
They have
then
one mine, but
then
they've
that's
got no
why.
refinery.
That's why they're not building anything. Then what happened to the refinery?
They never built one.
Or did someone blow it up?
No,
they just never
their
built it.
builder
Blow
bot
up.
seems to be building turrets,
Yeah.
and just not getting to a refinery.
How did it have enough to even put out one ship then? Because that's not how that works.
The builder bot is manually pulling stuff and leaving boxes scattered all over the place. So maybe, I mean, can the factory pull from the box if there's enough left in there?
Technically, but not enough to build a ship.
It's interesting. So the AI must have decided it's a strong
Maybe there
independent
were
cyborg.
just
We don't
enough
need no refinery.
boxes
All right,
scattered
two
around.
people talking at the same time doesn't work.
Maybe there were just enough boxes scattered around at one point for him to build one ship.
No, because those things don't have that much left in them. They're pretty efficient when it builds the boxes. So yeah, you were talking about how it's doing things more uniquely. Well, now it's being a dumb whatever and not building a refinery.
Doesn't it just build everything at random?
No, and yes. It researches at random. It doesn't build at random. But what it does do is it builds what it can build. So when all of a sudden when the researchers lets it build turrets and knows, hey, I was short of turrets, it will keep building turrets until it has the amount that it thinks it should have. If there's too little power, it'll build another reactor to compensate for that. So that's what the AI is doing as far as the mayor is concerned. But it knows it doesn't have a refinery, but it knows it can't do anything about it. So the turrets right now are the priority. So who blew up what?
I'm standing by.
blowing up the spare boxes.
All right.
I wonder if they just haven't researched refineries yet.
Oh my
Well, I know that it will keep building turrets until it thinks it has enough. Unfortunately, don't build up any of the buildings because there's a bug in the thing that even though you blow up the building, it doesn't register internally that you blew it up in the sense of for its counting, and it still thinks you have it, and that's part of the problem. That's why if you blow up one of the buildings, it doesn't right now it doesn't replace it. You know it should. It's a known bug. I haven't fixed it. What else is new? And I should fix it. So, Paul, if you want to go and kill that
god. Oh
remnant.
hey, the ship's done.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
All right, Ogre, do you want to give it its first go, whether it's good or bad?
Sure.
Also, we do have 2 factories now.
What was that about killing?
There's an errant box that's like traveling, through the southern hemisphere. If you want to go kill it, that's
I'll
down
go
by
do
our
that.
base. That I think you decided, golf clap into existence.
Yep.
It's the one with the.
It's the one with the big fuzzy shield.
I would say it's the one that looks like it's got the fingers on the sides.
Yeah, well, I decided to make it a Fraser class because why not? Yep, I see you moving it. So how's it pilot?
So far, so good. Which way is? Hang on.
Well, I'm very curious what the acceleration is personally. Ooh, it looks pretty. How is it? What's full speed?
308.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's maneuverable.
Even moving around, I like the recharge rate.
Yeah, I made sure that the reactor was good. I made that a priority.
Okay, this stupid box is jumping all over the place.
That's because it's skimming the ground. Alright,
Okay.
so it looks like you're having fun with that build, so I will crank out a couple more, actually.
We have 2 factories now for you to use.
Yep. Someone evidently has one already in build. Or not. Someone building one or no?
I am not.
Alright. So Matt, even though it says it shouldn't be there, there's one there, because it's showing it in the listing, but it's not actually producing it. So I'm going to put another one onto that system. Yeah, it's still saying that it's not producing. I'll put it in front. Oh. I'll try to remove it. Oh, that didn't do anything. So the first factory seems to be locked, and maybe that's what the problem is.
Oh, I'm frozen. And I
I
crashed.
crashed.
Really? Okay.
I'm still in.
I'm still in. I'm just kind of cruising on my way back to the enemy
It
base.
was another physical effect crash.
Okay. Could you mark down where it is?
Yes.
Okay.
While it's loading up, I'll be right back.
Okay. So yeah, the first factory just won't operate. Now maybe it's turned off in the asset screen. Let me go check that. I mean, check the obvious before you... Don't do the obvious. Alright, Jordan, since he's been doing the stuff here, let's see.
There was a brief period where we were very, very low on power.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it could
we
be
have power.
We have power now. Yes, I fixed it.
Okay.
But I'm saying it could be related to it tried to do something, and then it didn't have any power, and then suddenly it did.
Yeah. Well, the factories, they're there. They don't seem to be turned off.
Your shield regen's pretty good.
Yep. Oh yeah, I heard your line before, Adam. It was actually pretty good.
Wait. Hold on a second. That's weird.
Yeah, so Matt, I'm trying to get rid of... Alright, I'll try to use the Omni Ball to get rid of it. See if that works. delete ship design. How do I?
Oh, I don't know. You know what? I don't know if I
Let's say
implemented
I may
that.
have
So
found a
let
bug
me
here.
see.
Well, go to the factory screen. See if you see what I mean. That the first factory's not doing anything, even though there's two things there.
Gotcha. You should be able to just drag things out of the queue
Yeah,
to
try it.
delete them. Hold on, I'm still headed back in.
Ogre, on your screen, what's your armor looking like on yourself?
I am rejoining now.
Which one's the armor bracket? I forget.
Lower left.
The green one, lower
Oh.
left.
It's not showing anything.
Yeah, because for me it looks like you're full shields in lower right. Lower left you have no armor, and the top one. Whoops, I crashed that. So top one you're at about 85%
Oh,
hull.
yeah, I'm
Crashed out.
frozen. Yeah, I crashed out as well.
Yeah, because I was shooting at your shield, like way well away from the body of your ship, but I was still
I'm still
occasionally piercing through and taking out your armor bar that I saw, which was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Well,
wasn't showing any armor on my end, and everything else looked about the same.
yeah. I'm looking at you in the display. You have good shields, but your armor's all gone completely, according to this, which is very strange.
Yeah, because I didn't even. I basically just fired literally at your shield. If it had pierced through the shield, it would have just hit the other side of the shield and gone off in the middle of nowhere. I came nowhere near touching the actual body of your ship with my lasers. Also, your armor like evaporated as soon as I touched it.
Well, I didn't put that much armor on. I'll admit that, but let's see where you got hold. Oh, I see where you shot him from the top. It looks like.
Like from the front.
Okay. Well, the holes are. I see holes up top.
Yeah, because I didn't. But my beams never actually crossed the actual ship model. I was just grazing the outside of the shield
Is it
visually.
okay to come back in?
Yeah.
I'm coming back in right now.
Although it looks like the shields are on there reversed. They're backwards.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but I could
Great.
take a look at it later and see for sure.
Yeah.
You said the
frack.
first factory isn't doing anything?
No, it's not. It's
I
just
see,
I
a
don't
40,
know.
I see a 43-second countdown.
There are
40
two
seconds left.
factories. One of them is building.
Yeah, it's
The
up to 30
second one has
seconds.
2 ships in it that won't go away.
but I see, but no countdown.
Yeah, so it's not
There's
actually
no
doing
there's
anything.
no clear Q button yet. I'm guessing.
Well, we're trying to drag them off, and it's not dragging.
I mean, maybe just right click on something that's in the queue to clear it out in the future. It would be a nice button add.
We should just drag it off, but I understand your point with the right click. Now it's interesting. This thing's about to come out in about 5 seconds, and then will it disappear? And if it doesn't, then that's a problem. Now I see someone put a builder bot onto the top queue.
It just popped out.
Okay, well that's the other one, right? So the top one's just not doing anything. So put something on the bottom one that you wanted to build, or the opposite one that you see is clear.
The one that's clear.
Yes, that's building fine. So the question is, why is the top one kind of locked in its own little weirdness? I mean, you should be able to at the very least clear the queue, even if it's turned off. You should be able to do it. So that popped out, right? So I'm gonna put
it popped out.
All right, so I'm gonna put the big heavy guy in there, and he's gonna take 5 minutes. Now, if I stop him, all right, I can't clear the queue. If I try to drag him off, that doesn't work. If I try to drag it to the design, that doesn't work. So, Matt, what was the way of clearing the queue?
Hold on 1 second. One of the enemy turrets is just firing continuously at somebody that they can't hit, and I can't hear anybody over them.
Ogre, you don't look very happy there. Your cockpit's blown out and kind of look dead.
Well, apparently I had no armor, so he was just kind of surgically cutting it up.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Can I take care of you, Ogre? Here.
I think he's already taken care of. How can you still turn? You're dead.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like the actual ship model is larger than it appears. I was shooting at the outside, barely touching the ship model, and it was basically hitting his hull and armor.
The builder bot. Yep, it's just sitting there.
What, their builder bot, you mean?
Yep. The bike's transferring.
Mention
I nudged it twice. It hasn't moved.
Well, does it have a refinery?
It was transferring resources from one box to another box, and then the game crashed, and that was it.
Yeah, just grab new ship over.
And new ship. Well, new ship is not a question though. I don't see a refinery, so it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, they still don't have a refinery over there.
If there's no refinery, then that's it. You know.
And the boxes it was working on are gone now since the crash.
Well,
Are
they.
you in the other shielded ship?
Excuse me.
Are you in the other shielded ship that's out there?
No. I did tell it to build another one. I don't know if it's
There is
out
one.
there yet.
No one's in that ship.
Yeah, so take it over.
All right, it just blew up on my end. While you were
Me
damaging armor
again?
fastest of all things. I don't know why that even happened. 79, max armor. So the server crashed, although we probably want to start from scratch considering.
Mm.
So this is in the AF seconds. It thinks that,
I quit out, so
yeah, negative. So this was weird shielding stuff. So which ship was this?
It's nothing's moving right now.
The servers crashed.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yes. So I want to see what caused the issue. FPL 952. This was turret. The turret had a problem.
It's continually firing, perhaps.
I don't know. Was anybody firing at one of the turrets?
I
No, it
was
was just-
I was firing at turrets.
Of
Yes,
course you were.
enemy turrets.
All right. What? Then that's what caused the problem. Okay. So we were firing at the guns or the base, or what part of it we were firing at?
I don't recall. Maybe the base, since it's larger and easier to hit.
Okay. Well,
Also, I'm not sure you can actually hit the guns on it.
you should be able to, but I understand your point.
When I was doing some of the close-in stuff, like up close to the ground stuff before, I could hit the base, but I think I was shooting straight through the actual guns.
Okay. All right, Matt. I'm going to make a note here about this. Critical. Verify 8 seconds. All right, so I made a note over here for the code so that I know what to fix with this one, so it won't come up again. All right, so we probably should start from scratch again because obviously it was being stupid and not building any refineries. I don't know why that was
we
the case.
learned that for some reason right now I have to not build a second research facility at least until I do the research to get more. Now I'm sure like once I start building more research facilities at that point, anything else that's similarly like having a problem with that.
Well, I have to. What that means is that for my own testing, I have to build 2 at once. I do exactly what you did, and then see why it's not showing up. Now, like I said, I thought I fixed it, but again, I only built 1 research facility.
Right. But it did
so-
when we only had the one, it did work. I was able to do the next research level, and I'd started building analytics facilities and research facilities Mark II.
Okay.
So,
All right, server up.
but interestingly, like before, when I started with 2 research facilities, like it wasn't just that one research facility that I wasn't able to do. There was a couple things that wouldn't come up that I knew I had the stuff for. I don't remember all of them, so I'm assuming it's all along the similar problem of it doesn't know the research seems to have some problem when you have multiple research buildings.
Yeah, unfortunately, with a lot of these things, until recently, you could never test it. So you wrote what you wrote and hope for the best, and most of the time it works, sometimes it doesn't. And so that's why we're doing these tests, to figure out the more extreme cases of the game, because no one's actually gotten that far into it. Like I said, in the last several multiplayer sessions, we haven't sat there for an hour going through it. We haven't really gone through the tech web before. Now we're actually seeing it. Now I'm actually having to design ships and things of that nature to try to make these things better. So let me bring in this ship here. Doink, doink. All right. Anybody who's not in who wants to come in? Matt, I guess.
I'm a million.
Oh, there's Matt. Okay.
At least we're starting to nail down these things, though.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff with the AI being really dumb, because I'm in the catch-22. I don't want to fix the AI because I'm replacing the AI. I'd rather spend the time on the new AI system rather than fixing the old system, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah. The
Which
problem is
isn't.
until the new AI system is anywhere, we're stuck with this thing.
That's very true. I mean,
I
that's
see
why
what you
we end
said.
up. You had to nudge the freaking builder
Right,
bot to get it to
I
work.
see what you say with the catch-22 there. Like,
Yeah,
it looks like nothing's changing, but it's just,
yeah.
it's not visible yet.
So I'm just waiting for Ogre. Actually, I'll make myself ready here.
Almost there.
Almost there. So yeah, no, I'm pleased by how these things are going though, because we're more talking about um, streamlining how the game's functioning. Meaning, like, okay, what should really be available early? How quickly should you get it? That kind of thing. And then even now, the buildings are being built far too quickly than we originally intended. Um, Mostly for obvious reasons, because you're not trying to be there forever. And maybe it should be content to be building this fast. I don't know. That's a call we're going to have to make with that kind of thing. Or maybe you have two different modes where it's more RTSE versus 4XE, if that makes sense. So things
Yeah.
are built in a few minutes or 30 seconds versus waiting 10 minutes to be built, or an hour, half hour to be built. Who knows? So everybody in?
Yep.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Ready?
All right. Here we go. No, but I'm liking how this is working. We really haven't had anything super critical that really made the game unplayable. I mean, other than the lagging thing I did for the early part of the game, which is now running fine and exactly what it was. And there wasn't anything wrong. It's just the logging was being ridiculously obnoxious. So maybe I'll start working on the newer AI and we'll start making it not quite as dumb.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thing.
Yeah. Honestly, like ship AI and the a little bit of a revamp on the shipbuilding would be good.
I hate to say it, but the shipbuilding may even take precedence because the enemy War Master AI does actually operate. It sometimes gets to a vapor lock, as you saw last time, but for the most part, it works. The bigger problem is that the shipbuilder really is not very friendly right now, and that
I am
needs to
working
change.
on the graphic design update of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shipbuilding is like one of the big draws of the game. So
Yes. No, you're not wrong. So I'll probably put that as a priority to try to clean up, to try to make it a lot easier to do. And we'll see what happens with it.
I'm
And I
standing
need to fix this
by
thing.
and observing the enemy base.
Yep. No, I think the first priority, of course, is to fix the damn terrain equation so that you don't keep on passing through it in certain sections. For those of you in the audience that are still actually watching, and you can see I put like build lines on the outside. So those are the borders between the mega triangles, and at those borders, strange things happen. What this is actually showing is the resolution dropping down, but the equation that says how far you are from the bottom changes. So if I bring up a different monitor, if you see this, I have a planet on the right. So that's one of the monitors we barely ever use. And it shows your altitude. All right, so the closest I get to the ground, obviously, the lower the altitude, go figure, right? But when I cross one of these transitions over here, weird things start to happen. So notice how it's like, about 1,000 feet. And then as I start to transition over this, it'll probably flip out. I want you to not do it. All right, so see, there we went. See that? So it went negative, jumped me up several thousand feet, and I went up top here. Now that's one of the places that I know is right at the borderline here that does it. And because it's reporting the wrong triangle that I'm hitting, and then it's going crazy based on that. And that's the problem. I'd say there it goes again, saying exactly what it's doing. I just don't know. It's a misinterpretation of the border edge, and it's a very specific case of it. But like most of the flesh of the system is perfectly fine. It's just right at that edge. It's I don't know if it's a precision issue because floats aren't all that accurate sometimes, or what it is. Now you get the opposite problem too when you cross one of these thresholds. Sometimes it will say that there's nothing there. That all of a sudden it'll say, "Oh, you're up several thousand feet," even though you're skimming across the actual terrain itself. So let's see if I can find one of those deep pockets. Oh, there it is. I'm in the deep pocket right now. See how I was in 5,000 feet, and now I'm back to about 18, 1700s. Let me turn around the other way. Let's see if I get there.
My God. Placing refineries is the actual worst. Everything else I can get it pretty close, but I cannot place refineries where I want it to go.
Like I said, put an angle, far more of an angle, like so you're looking more downwards, and it'll work better for when you're in the nav screen.
And Mr. Builderbot is just still.
Oh, there I am. So I'm in one of the pockets. Let's see if I can get to one of their pockets again. Alright, so I know it's right here. It's right near where this mountaintop is. Okay, see if I get there. We're 1,000 feet, 1,000 feet, 1,000 feet, 700 feet. And it's making a liar out of me because it's not here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now we're at 4,000 feet, even though we're obviously not. We're right on top of the terrain. So that's the problem, is misreporting where the heights are, which is why Jordan's having the problems he's having. So my intention is to fix this equation along the
I already
edges.
tapped it.
Rebumping the builder bot again.
I already did it.
Yeah, it's
Somebody
not
else
doing
is just
anything.
doing it now.
Watching Ogre.
Now it's moving
Oh,
finally.
there it goes. Yeah, Ogre.
Well, okay. Now, was it actually stuck, or was it just the siding?
It's been
It
there
was-
for a while.
Yeah, it was sitting there for a while. That's kind
Okay.
of floating.
Now, keep in mind, we only start with designs for the warehouse, the reactor, and the research facility. You don't have any other buildings. So, depending on the order in which it researches the other technologies, it could be researching capacitors or weapons or anything else like that. It will sit there because there's nothing else to build. And part of the reason why it's sitting there right now is probably for the same reason. Now, obviously, it got something more useful. Now it's off building something else. So it depends what you can do. Now, as a human, you go, okay, we know exactly what we want. We go exactly for the mining and the refinery off the bat. Now, that's exactly what it did. So now it actually has money for itself, which it didn't the last game session. So that's a good thing. So now when it decides it wants to build another building, when it can, it'll pull it from the refinery. So it will definitely do a thing. I'm surprised it has enough left over. Where's it going? I guess it grabbed it from the refinery pretty quickly. Based on the pattern that it usually does, it's probably starting to build turrets. To be honest. Because it builds the buildings in a grid spiral, for lack of a better term, is how I had it do it. Oh, duh, it's going to the warehouse to get the materials. That's what it was doing. I take that back. It probably still doesn't quite have enough. Well, I guess it does. There it goes. But you saw it withdrawing the amount from the warehouse. It's a pretty little warehouse.
Yes, you were correct, Arthur. The straight up and down look lets me play stuff much more accurately.
Yes.
Get a couple things down, then I'm going to put a factory down. Shields and capacitors are already researched.
Excellent. This kind of curious what's building. It might build another reactor, honestly. Might be running low on power. There it is. Hey, I was right. It's running low on power. That's its next priority. Its priority is like for every amount of buildings, it will build so many turrets, and then it will also pay attention to how much everything's drawing power-wise, and make sure there's enough reactors to run everything full tilt. So that's kind of what it's doing. So now it's still probably waiting for research to say what else it should do with itself. Otherwise, it would be waiting over the warehouse, waiting for the refinery to do its thing.
So potentially it could be researching some tier 1 stuff before it ever bothers to actually finish all the tier 0 stuff. Is that correct?
That's technically true, but it's, from what I remember, what I did with War Master AI, it actually researches the cheapest thing first, but because there's a lot of things at the same price, it will, meaning research points, it will just randomize what that is. So it's unlikely it will go to tier 1. Or tier, before it does all tier 0 first. So, but the problem is there's a lot of tier 0 stuff like the capacitors, and you have to research those, and the weapons, and etc. So that where it can be delayed from. So that's why there's sort of pausing depending on what it decides to do. I am not saying that's an ideal way for it to do things. It's not. But until I get the better AI in there, it's has a process versus being all that smart about it. So it's definitely doing its thing. It's drawing the stuff out. So Jordan, how goes things over there?
I'm a little low on power, so I'm fixing power. Then I'm gonna build you guys two factories.
Fair enough. So I guess I should start doing a design again.
Yeah.
Should I bother with shielding this time?
I mean, the shields are researched,
Okay, fair enough.
and all the capacitors are researched. But I haven't gotten better power just yet.
So it's building a turret. You don't want to be there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like that's the turret.
Yeah, it's already tracking you. I'm watching the guns track your butt.
Yeah. I saw the face going. It's like, oh, that's not something I want to be around for anymore.
Oh, yeah, I really don't. Still tracking you despite everything. Hasn't noticed me yet. That's one of the things I need to change out what it wants to track.
Okay, so I need one more reactor then because we just barely got positive.
Yeah, I shouldn't be able to sit here right next to it and go, "Hi, how you doing?" Oh, no, knows me now. All right, run now, run now, running now. You must have gotten out of range for it to get a new target.
I stopped for quite a bit before
Okay. I guess it doesn't check for new targets for a while for turrets, which doesn't surprise me that much, but there it is. Okay, well, now it doesn't have a factory down yet, does it? It's just building turrets now. It's got money. So now it's probably just going to build a series of turrets and then the factory. And then we're going to get swarmed, probably. Speaking of crazy things, let's see how we're doing over here. All right. So you got two miners down? Yeah, you do. You got refinery, 2 refineries, a lot of power. Do you have a factory?
Factories I just told to build. Basically, I bottomed out the power for a bit, and so I am at 4 reactors. At 3 reactors, then the power rose. I'm like, okay, let's build another reactor, and then I can build 2 factories.
Yeah. All right, so I'll start designing something up then.
So it is now has its orders to build a factory.
Fair enough. All right. So let's build. I'll use the red. Why not? Grab that. Put that in there. Okay, dokie then. Whee! Alright. So, Ogre wants them shields. Let's get some weapons on this. Let's say heavy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright.
One factory down.
Okay. We want yield cockpit. And let's see if the auto helper actually will play ball this time. Power and shielding.
0. Never mind, I got it. Jordan keeps writing me love letters. I got tired of seeing it on the screen.
What? What?
I don't know.
The messages underneath of your name.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
Just
it's
on.
it's because
I just
every time
crashed the desktop.
it completes something I did, it gives
I
me
know.
a message.
Yeah, because
but
the
it's-
War Masters is telling you what your empire is
Yeah.
doing.
That's what I'm saying. Jordan keeps writing me love letters. I get tired of seeing.
You realize she's waiting for to space you again.
I know. I know. I can see it in his eyes.
Yeah.
That blank face mask. That shield.
Alright, so let's add some armor on this guy.
I was clicking through
All right,
some
we have
stuff
2 factories.
in the assets menu and I got dropped the desktop.
Okay.
I'll go click it again and see if it happens again.
Okay.
I'll connect joining in now.
Auto helper. Oh, that should have worked. And it did. Excellent. So now I should be able to assign the weaponry.
I think I would like to get myself a second builder.
Okay. The problem is the selection of the builders gets kind of wonky. It doesn't crash, but it doesn't do exactly what you want to do either.
I mean, it doesn't yet let me just, have builders working on 2 different things.
No, you can do it. It's just a matter of selecting the other builder. You'll have to manually do it, and it may not be as
Yeah,
nice as
I
you.
did notice that.
Yeah, so it may not be as nice as you might like it to be. Okay, saving a design. I think it's saved. Did it save? Can someone go to the factory screen and see if the new design's there?
Sure.
I see a
Yep.
new design in there. It uses the capture
Yes.
sill.
It does. Good. Alright, then let's start cranking.
And this time there's only one of them
Yes.
instead of 3.
Because I didn't keep pressing the save, but it shouldn't have done that, but okay. So I'll put... It should have just updated the design, but it didn't. So this one's cheaper. So it's 3 minutes versus the other one, so I'll actually do 1 in each.
Sorry, Matt. I might have just. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, those things, we should account for the sizing of that, not just the one direction, but in all directions. Because it's kind of obnoxiously big.
No, it was, I clicked the button, I thought, and all Matt's name was space.
What did you do?
Nothing. You're okay. You're fine.
Oh, did you find my you're not allowed to space your
No,
player's
no.
message?
No, I was moving. I clicked something on your box, like, and your name just disappeared. And I'm like, oh shit, where did that go? Because I didn't click on anything. And then I scrolled back up, and your name was at the was back on the list.
Oh, do you have a
Okay.
message where you can't space people?
Yeah, I've been waiting for somebody to try it.
Oh, well, let's find out. Let's see, Matt. Let's see if it works.
Hopefully it
clicked-
works.
I clicked on it. I get no message, but nothing's happening.
Oh, that's a shame.
True
Yeah.
test.
Yeah,
Nope,
let's see.
I can't click Jordan out either. Damn it.
Yeah, well, you're the War Master. You should be able to do it, but no. No, I see it highlighting, but you can't do it, yeah. Oh, well.
Let's go.
Dang. Okay, I'll have to go back and check that out.
I didn't even click on the thing. Your name just disappeared, and I'm like, what? So where did that go? I hope I didn't just space him back.
Yes, you do. Alright, so there's about 80 seconds left to...
Jordan, if you ever run out of more cash, just let me know. I reset them.
Yeah, at a certain point, the rest of us are going to need cash for the ships we're trying to build.
Yep, everyone's got.
All right, you're cutting that out.
I said everyone's got 14.3%.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I'm much happier with the performance on this since I changed things. I know I keep saying that, but it's such a main difference.
I seem to have plenty of money, Ernest.
Yeah, I know. You're pretty packed, man.
How's the War Master doing? Is it doing anything? I mean, where are they doing? It's just they just kind of stopped.
The builder bot's flying around. They got turrets. They got 2 reactors, a warehouse, 2 refineries. It looks like a mine, a bunch of turrets.
Yeah, but no factory.
Oh, they're building it now.
I was waiting for that to happen.
Waiting for you to come over there and look so I could poke you in the eye.
Yeah, now it's actually doing something. Alright, that means if the factory's up, that means it's not going to be very long for them to start kicking out stuff. Because they have... Oh, there it is! First one's out. The swarm is now appearing. You've been warned.
Time to have fun.
We have stuff that have come out of our factories.
We do. So we do actually have new ships if people want them. Although, you should build them yourself if you want. These are a little more heavy duty than I think the Nats they're going to end up producing. Yep, the combat has started. Big surprise there. Alright, so I should be able to select a...
Do you guys need more factories if that's the kind of ships you're producing?
It would be so useful if we could have it like select nearest ship rather than just cycling through all these buildings.
There is a select nearest ship. T is for target, the nearest ship. H is for friendlies.
Yeah, but it would select buildings too if I did that.
Yeah, it does. T selects the laser bases.
Well, then you can get further away, or not, as the case may be. So I'm in the first ship that came out from the factory. It's moving at 340. I have decent shielding. My beams are really nice, actually. So, Ogre, you might like what has been produced.
Is there another one over there?
There is. I built 2. Should be unmanned unless someone took it.
I am engineless, so I will need one soon.
Well, start cranking something out of the factories it was there for.
Yeah, I'm just
Laser weapons 2 in 70 seconds.
Okay. The turrets are the closest thing according to this. Still waiting for something closer. Alright, yeah, it won't let me track to this. I bet it's already damaged.
Yeah, they're popping out of ship every like 11.5 seconds.
What, you're timing it?
Yes.
Okay, well, I asked.
I just like watching them wonder exactly how, so I'll do like 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000.
I should do something that we can select something that's not damaged. I know we changed it so that we couldn't select something that's damaged. And now I kind of regret that because I'm not close enough. So, if I... Yeah. These are just all,
the laser targets are actually targeting their own ship.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, gods.
It's not doing any damage to them, but I'm watching the purple beam track around their own ship.
Alright, so I'm tracking this guy. He's not doing shit. Someone got him.
I think I'm getting him. Yeah, he's powerless now.
Anyway, the Orion Mark II laser can now be mounted on your ships.
So has anybody been cranking out the newer ships then?
I'm just dogfighting at the moment.
Yeah, I'm waiting until I'm completely disabled before I go.
Well, you might want to have some reserves or something like that. If you know what I mean. There. Okay. Oops. Where'd he go? He's too close. No, he's not too close. Oops. So he's starting to get killed. So he's dead. Let's see here. We're definitely keeping the gnat swarm down, though. I'll say that. Although it's... Ow! You're shooting at me. What the hell?
Oh, I shouldn't at the.
No, it shot at me.
Okay. I was gonna say I know someone was flying. I was shooting behind you, so if I hit you, that's bad.
I'm gonna try. I'm flying away from the
Shields
city.
aren't doing as well as I would hope.
I'm gonna try and build myself a ship.
Alright, well, that's the point. Alright, so that's fine.
I'm flying away from the ship.
Who just flew in front of me?
I just flew.
I hope you enjoyed that little.
Why, yes, I did.
Tailpipe massage.
Alright. So, Ogre, do you like the new ship or no?
So far, yeah.
Okay. Alright. If someone's shooting at something, let them have it. Alright? If we're all hitting at the same time, it's you're gonna get friendly fire going on, you know?
Yeah, but if you're following, if you have something targeted and they go behind you, then you turn around to keep firing. Which is probably what you're referring to as happened.
Well, because I'm targeting something, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing beams coming from behind me. That's obviously from one of you guys.
Yeah, you flew past me for the one I turned around and back after. Because I was already going after it and shooting at it.
So with as many fleet ships as we have, the max swarm isn't really gaining much traction.
Also, we have 4 factories now.
Fair
If
enough.
you want to really... If you want, I can go in there, I can crank out some squadrons for you guys. Of cap ships, and you can play with that. Would you like that?
Dedicate like 2 of them to kick out like 3 or 4, and then have them go crazy. I think that's the whole idea of fleet movements anyway. Why is Cyborg 11?
Each factory is now I have 2 factories which are each producing 3 of the cap ships.
These things are definitely soft and squishy. Unfortunately, just keeps cranking them out. This is actually what I've been trying to do for weeks, where it was just a giant constant swarm. Now, realistically, you know, you divert some to actually taking out the buildings, so the stuff wouldn't keep coming out, but you know how this goes. I wouldn't say the shielding something, I purposely made it a cheaper ship.
I stopped shooting at it because, well, one of them because they're heading towards a place
It's ridiculous. fix the sound system somehow, but there it is anyway. Oh, they took out my shield reactor. That's nice. Shield generator. I was wondering, it's like, why is my shields kind of breaking down? Oh, that do it. Yeah.
Well, our power is fluctuating a little bit, but I just researched better power setups.
Well, how my shields look like broken glass. My shields aren't up anymore. But, technically they shouldn't be visible at all. That's one of the things I haven't done yet. There's always something else to fix.
What's a salvager factory?
A salvager factory basically makes better use of CMs. So if you basically have a lot of CMs, you can basically salvaging from other ships, from enemy ships, that'll actually build quicker using those CMs. However, it's slower using RMs.
CMs is component for materials which is one
So
feature in the game that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, so until we get the salvaging system in place, that thing really isn't very advantageous to use.
The concepts between ore, refined materials, and component materials, which is CMs, is that got blasted again.
I made a thing in the shipbuilder, and now I'm wondering how to do the thing with the make it.
Go to factory screen. You click on the factory you want it on, and you drag it into the queue.
Are there any free ships open yet, or are they still being in production?
I think they're still being produced.
Gotcha. All right.
There are.
Good.
Let me see. Oh no, yeah, there's 2 ships that have been produced.
Oh, I can only see I only can target Arthur's.
They probably owned by May.
So when I hit H, it only targets one ship, and that's.
Well, H is the nearest viable ship.
Yeah. I'm
So
not
what
sure
would
if
be-
it checks for see who's piloting it. If I do H, it looks at Adam's old ship, which is... Adam, aren't you controlling your ship?
Yeah.
Alright, well that's a bug, so I should make sure H doesn't, if someone's piloting it, not to target it.
And the thing is, I don't currently see under like myself that I have more ships
Damn it,
that I
it just
own.
crashed.
Oh,
Did
there
it? I just tried to tell it to
Right.
build in my ship, so.
Yes, you did. It did it in the factory screen.
Ah.
Doesn't mean we can't load the info thing. Basically, Matt?
Yes.
What crashed was on line 1369 in the new factory screen. The OGO specific design ID is null, meaning the OGO specific variable is null instead of looking at the ID in it. So it got it from find design for factory queue. Producing it came back as null. Which
I may
was
have-
online as 1348.
I may have done the shipbuilding wrong. I apologize if that was the cause.
It's very possible. I don't know.
Also, what I was before we crashed, I was looking at assets. I didn't see in my assets any for more ships listed. Meaning, like I told it to produce more more of the cap ships.
Well, the server's down.
I told it to produce more cap ships, and it had. I saw that there were 2 floating above the factories. But I don't know if they didn't become my assets because I'm only a mayor.
That's not how it works, but it should have. Now, I had produced a couple, but we were flying them, so I don't know why it would go to me. It should know who put them into the queue. Now,
Again, I couldn't find them.
Okay. Yeah, we should adjust H to saying a AI piloted ship versus a human piloted ship, so that you can actually grab those, which makes more sense if you think about it.
Yeah, it does.
So it's the thing that's easily changed and updated. All right, so server's back up and loaded, although it crashed when I loaded it in. That's not good.
So it's not back up.
It's not back up.
Just so you know, I had click connect before you said anything.
Uh-huh.
My screen flew up the spinny wheel, went into the lobby that was empty, and then crashed out.
All right, that may have been the problem. So let me get into the game itself first before we do that.
So, just FYI, it is a little after 6.
All right, let's just see if people can get in, and then we can wrap it up for the day.
Cool.
Now, as far as people are concerned, do they consider this a more successful test than the last several?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've been playing the game.
Yeah.
I mean, not only have we been building stuff and setting up the city, but we've had people dedicated to keeping the enemy contained.
I mean, I started building at the end advanced reactors.
Yeah, you were definitely munching through the tech web, which is good.
Now, if we can get back in now to the save game, do we want to save that game and pick up there next time we do a live stream?
That's a possibility.
Hmm.
The last autosave seems to crash every time I go in, which I don't know why that's happening, but it's an area draw ship.
The problem is that some of the early things need to be tested and fixed, like the fact that currently we can't. If I build a second research station early, then I won't ever be able to do the research for the next level.
All right, I'm in.
I'm joining.
This is about 4 minutes back.
Attempting.
I'm joining.
So I'll pop there.
What did that happen with the ship and it was saving at that same moment?
No, it was blowing up because of how some of the weapons work. It was making an assumption about I guess the fuel pointer wasn't assigned properly. It doesn't make any sense to you, I know. And so I'm actually going to make a note here about this problem, actually. So, now, do you have your design there, Paul?
Let me take a look here. I'm not seeing it being manufactured by any of the factories.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you see the design there?
In the shipbuilder?
No, the design's not here. So you're going to have to redesign it again.
Alright then.
Now there's an outside chance that I have it here. Let me see if it's actually here. If I go in the shipbuilder and I hit load design, it might be here. I don't see it though.
I was joining and crashed out. Desktop.
Okay. Yeah, it's all frozen here.
I am also being called away to dinner.
Okay, well
I'm not seeing. I named my ship. I named my ship I don't know, and I'm not seeing I don't know in the list.
It's not there.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm all frozen. Okay, now it's back.
And I'm frozen.
I'm
Crashed.
frozen.
Crashed
Crashed
desktop.
to desktop.
Crashed.
I guess
Alright.
I'll quit out then.
Yes. Everybody else, why don't you try to rejoin back in, see if you can. If you want me to, I can save this up, and we can see if you continue next.
Okay. Thank you for Thank you for having me on.
No problem, sir.
And later. Thanks
See
to
you later,
all for joining onto the live stream.
Yep. Thank you.
See you, man.
Later.
All right, I'm going to save this.
User disconnected from your channel.
And that way we can,
Wait to reconnect or no?
I'm just going to quit out.
Are we done?
Yeah, I think we're done. I think everybody else
Okay.
wants it to be done, so might as well.
But,
Okay.
So, of note, so
Yes.
I did get to the point where the pushed out 2 cap ships again. I looked when I went into like flight sim and targeted one of the ships. It says owned by Jordan.
Yes.
When I look in the assets screen, the only things I have are my ship, like the wank or whatever, and the one builder bot that I built, which is So I had that they're owned by. It had not. Maybe it hadn't. Maybe it takes a bit to update with new ships, but it was not saying that I owned 2 new ships.
It should have, when you do the factory queue, it should actually put in who requested the thing, and we'll have to test that at a later point.
It clearly is because, again, when I select it from the fighter view, it says it's my ship.
So what do you mean by
But-
the fighter view? Oh, you mean the first person? Yes, okay.
Yeah, the sim screen.
Yeah. So,
It
alright,
says
then
it's
I'm
my ship.
confused.
It's just not on the asset screen. They're
Oh.
not listed.
Okay. Did you try to collapse and reopen things to see if it was in there?
So whenever I go into the asset screen, everything's already collapsed
Okay.
to start with.
So maybe it was there and it just didn't appear. You had to actually collapse and reopen it. I'm not
Possibly.
saying
Yeah.
it shouldn't have been there, but you know what I mean.
But yeah,
And if you didn't have the squadron open, you wouldn't have been able to see the ships anyway.
Right. So, but definitely it seemed that it certainly knew that they were my ships. It just wasn't displaying it where I was expecting to see it.
Okay.
But it did. It would if you target them manually on the sim screen, it says they're owned by me. I was trying to find the asset screens. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna fly these ships. I should give them to somebody else so they can have a squadron.
I mean, if you want, I can go in there real quick and see if I can see it.
Sure.
So let me reselect this. Hold on for half a second so I can actually know what I'm loading. Okay, so manual save 15. So I'll pull that in. Hopefully it'll work. And if it does, I'll go into the asset screen and see if it shows Jordan owning ships. It won't take me that long to do it.
I mean, I guess first make sure that they actually that at that point in save. Or that's right. You said you saved it.
Yeah.
Right at the end there.
Yes, yes.
We've definitely hit the stage though where we're starting to get a whole industrial complex going on.
Very much
Like,
so.
Like if you
And-
glance back at the city I've built, it is moving.
And that's the point. And I don't know we've been holding off actually assaulting their city. We if this was
That's
a
because
full
there's only
blown
one enemy.
game and they'd expanded out and stuff like that, then that would have been different. And normally we wouldn't have started so close to them anyway. We'd have to go find them, and this is just
Maybe-
refining things down.
Maybe that can be an adjustment. Maybe you can put them a bit further away and maybe make 2 of them.
Yeah, it's nothing the game can't, because it definitely can.
Right. And that'll give us a little more interesting things to happen.
Alright, so I'm in the game. I am looking in the asset screen. I am looking at Jordan's stuff. God, you got a lot of messages.
I
You
sure do.
have 4 ships.
Oh, cool. Then maybe
You
I just
have
wasn't seeing
the
it.
Wanker, the Builder Bot, and 2 Vipers.
Sweet.
So is that what you were expecting?
Yes.
So you do have them, it's just, I don't think you expanded it.
Possibly, yeah.
I know it can be confusing navigating the asset screen, knowing that you should expand things or contract things, and it gets kind of funky that way. And it's a little bit of a learning curve, and I get that. But it's pretty straightforward. You click on what you're trying to look at. So I'm looking at ships, for example. I can just have the squadrons show up versus the ships and versus other things, and that's why things are appearing and disappearing.
All right. Well, that's
So no,
cool.
it is there.
And then yeah, if we pick up from here next week, I can start giving those ships, transferring the ships over to like Ogre.
Yeah, he can just
give Ogre his
if
fleet
he
of
just
cap ships.
arbitrarily possesses it, it'll automatically become into his squadron.
Hmm.
And so
But-
the game lets people do that. Now maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know, but that will
Well, that's
come
a
up in
slower
gameplay.
process than me just giving them over.
Hmm.
Right. Because then he has to possess each one individually.
Well,
and
no,
then-
that's very true. That's very true. I don't mean that way. I mean, it depends what he's trying to do. If he's just trying to go for a new ship because he wants something to damage, it's one thing.
Nah,
If
I just want to
he's-
see the squadron controls working in this mode.
Okay, yeah, they should.
They should.
They should. It's
But we
always
haven't
about should.
tried yet.
Yes. All right. So since we're wrapping it up, what is the end suggestions that people have for next time? Obviously, I'm going to try to fix the equation for the terrain, which has been plaguing the thing for a very long time, which hurts why you're having problems placing things down because it's failing as it's crossing the transition. Which is why when you look straight down, you don't have the problems because you're not crossing any transitions.
Yep.
So that's one thing I want to fix, but that might take me a while. What are the other suggestions for creature comforts?
Like from a spaceflight combat perspective, one of the biggest problems is actually targeting. When you get so many things on there, it becomes impossible to basically sort of like see a ship. Like, all right, I want to target that so I can see what I'm seeing at what I want to fire at it. That's a big problem. That and the actual friendly fire colors.
The friend or foe, I should probably finally address that.
Yeah, friend or foe. All right.
Is
Yeah,
there,
'cause, like,
is there,
I think that the IFF, might be a bit of a priority now that we're actually getting into that phase.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
that's a milestone there where that actually now matters more.
I don't know if there's a priority, but I'm just saying basically from the perspective of someone who's spending these live streams basically just shooting at other ships. Those are the two biggest problems. Basically, like being able to easily target and tell who's who. I mean, it's not super bad because we're always blue, and their color is always something that's not blue, although it constantly changes from like dark blue
Yeah.
to
Now
white
for me,
to red
after
to
about
yellow.
3 minutes in on the nav screen, everyone turns yellow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the friend or foe code is completely barfed, and I know that it's worked beyond belief. Um, I haven't touched it in an extremely long time, and at the time it was written, there was nothing to test it with. Now we're actually testing the real thing, and now we find out, of course, it's borked. Big surprise. It's probably only some small thing that's will correct it, and then everything will work fine. But you know how it goes. It had to be enough of a priority to do it. So now it's a
yeah,
priority to do it.
also to be able to turn off the targeting reticles
Yes,
because
I
I
do
can't
have
see
that in
the
your listing.
buildings.
Yes, I do have that in your listing. Uh, so that'll be in some more creature conference. And like I said, over the next few weeks, months, etc. I mean, a lot of these things will be pushed into the system, and it will tighten up and get more polished as your suggestions get implemented. Um, like I said, I spent a week trying to get the release put together for the public demo, and that added up a lot more of my time than I wanted to. So the other thing was, I know we wanted a key or something like that that would select only ships, not just buildings, for enemies, because I think that would be handy. We should also do a key that will select or update, excuse me, the H key that will select the nearest healthy, friendly ship that isn't possessed by another player.
Can they do key combinations yet, like Control T and Alt T?
Yes. Asterisks. The when you're in the navigation screen, for example, if you hold Shift and then whatever, um, Shift and WASD, you can rotate. I demonstrated that last time.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So
That's what I was thinking
controls
for.
do work that way, but they don't work as a key combination. So if you're
That's,
saying you want T for one thing and Control T for something different, that it won't
yep,
do.
yep. That's what I was
Just
referring to.
but for certain things where it's like, okay, this key has a dual function, like in the nav screen, for example, with the WASD keys, then yes, that does work that way. Now maybe we say, okay, one keys for those kind of modifications, and like something like control is for an independent thing. The point is, it does read it now, whereas before it didn't.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like Control T to target to select the ships and.
I wouldn't want it to have like control T and then T because that's going to get very confusing. You probably want single key presses or joystick presses, that kind of thing. I won't rule it out, but I'm not going to rush to get that in quite yet because you don't want a situation where you have to click 3 times for something to happen, or you have to do like weird combinations for something to come up because that's not intuitive to people. They'd rather
Well,
have it on the second key.
it's just that I know that T is my targeting, and what do I want to target? Buildings is control,
Mm-hmm.
ships or T or ultimate. That's all.
Well, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can, do a special thing saying, okay, control T is this control, but I would still want the
Yeah,
option of putting it on another button as well.
yeah. That's all. I mean, make it customizable by all means. That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
just for my brain, trying to remember which is building targeting and which is the shit. And like
Yeah.
T is
Well,
targeting.
that's why I have it on my joystick anyway. I mean, I have different buttons on my joystick to do different things. I know what they do,
Yeah,
and I keep
yeah,
reassigning it to that.
and mouse macros and programs, you can find
Right.
any combination.
For those that want to see, this is my crazy, like an X52 Pro craziness. The hell's more buttons than my keyboard does. It's not quite that bad, but not too far from it. Um, so yeah. Um, in any case, I thought this always had 3 positions. It does. 1, 2. Okay, I overdid it. Um, so other than that, we have it on the live stream, so I'll at least record that. What are the other suggestions that people had? All right, then we'll cut it there then. Um, Again, I thank you all for coming. I think we went much longer than we usually do the past couple of
Yep.
streams because we're actually doing things for once. So yay, it is coming together. For those of you still here, we are actually doing a crowdfunding in about a month, I believe September 17th. That will offer the game in the more completed form versus the free demo at that point. And you'll be able to play a lot more around with the RTS aspects of it, the research and the building and all the other fun stuff that we're actually doing now, and we'll continue to streamline it as we continue forward. So I thank everyone for joining us, and I look forward to next time, and hopefully I will have the whole thing with Twitch more streamed so it's not quite as twitchy, and we'll go from there. And
Sounds good.
talk to you
See
later,
you
everyone.
later, everybody.
Thank you again for joining us.
Catch you later.
User disconnected from your channel. User disconnected from your channel.
All right, people don't actually have to disconnect, but that's okay.